shit and one got books, one got grudges. Both talk trash, both hold judgments. Politics bite, then we chew on the truth. Haunted by poles and the raccoon in the booth. Paranormal in the rafters, sports in the blood. Collectibles stacked like bones in the mud. We ain't civilized, we're a loud little stain. Two wide up maniacs with the fist full of shame. Hear that clock start dragging, the room start blacking. Waking down the screen like a coffin lid cracking.
Starting soon, starting soon, starting soon, starting soon, starting soon, starting soon.
OG vault from the cornfield smoke, Mo from the concrete sharp with the joke. One hates taxes, one hates liars. Both hate snakes and televangelist choirs. We talk ghosts, we talk scores, we talk gold, weird gold. Swap a cursed toy for a story told. If the lights go dim, we don't flinch, we grin. Looking like a sermon with a grin full of sin. Foul, mouth, loud and built like a storm. Same damn chaos in a different form. Door hinges groaning, night air moaning. Hold your place, don't stray, we're almost on display.
Starting soon, starting soon, starting soon, starting soon, starting soon, starting soon.
If the dead wanna watch.
What's up, everybody? Happy Tuesday. I'm a little loud there. Let me turn myself down. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Thanks for hanging out with us. It's Tuesday, so it's time for this week's The Commie and The Hog with me and OG MoKnowz. What's up, Mo? How you feeling tonight?
Tired, man. Tired. Been a long day, long 2 days, long week, man. Long freaking week. I think I told you last week. Said it on the show. I was like, you know, when I don't know about something, what do? I dive in. I dive all the way in, right? Go freaking balls deep. Well, this week we went balls deep on the Old Testament, the New Testament.
Wow.
I went on the Torah. I read the Quran. I read the Book of Giants, the Book of Enoch. The only thing I did not get to was the, what's the other one? The Apocrypha book.
You named all the ones I know.
No, it's the other popular one. Oh, the giant. I can't think of his name. Gilgamesh.
Oh, yeah. That's more like a, well, I thought it was like an epic, like a tale.
Well, but yeah, but they're considered like apocryphal or whatever. Like Book of Enoch isn't considered canon for the Bible.
Let me shout out everybody in the chat. Shout out to Dan K first in the chat today. Let's go. What's up, everybody? Speaking of let's go, there's the biggest bro in the house. Good to see you, my man. We got Rich Buddy. Let's go. We're gonna have a good show tonight. We got lots of cool stuff to talk about. We're gonna be talking about exorcisms. What's up, Rob T? Good to see you, my man. Grandma Moore is here as well. If you guys want to check out a YouTube channel about door dashing like Mo does himself, check out Grandma Moore's channel. She does some door dashing as well. Before we get started and we get into our topics, Mo, I got something here that doesn't really fit into any other topics, but I wanted to get your opinion on it. And it's the upcoming trial of Keefe D, talking about who killed Tupac Shakur. We talked about earlier how it's kind of strange how I'm more of a Biggie fan even though I'm in the Midwest, and you're more of a Tupac fan even though you're in New York. But have you heard anything about this trial, people talking about it in New York, or do you think it was Keefe D?
Saw some stuff popping up, but like I said, man, been on a whole different plane this week.
I hear you.
I've been in a pre-Diluvian world. Now I'm back in the Diluvian world. I don't know what the hell is going on, but I'm having fun actually.
Well, I'll keep you updated on everything that's going on for sure. And on this Keefe D thing, if you look up a couple of internet documentaries about it, there's one on Netflix that's really good, and you put all the pieces together. I think Keefe D did it. I thought Keefe D did it before they even charged him, and now apparently somebody snitched on him. I don't know if it was Cat Williams, maybe. Shout out to Denny OC. Ahoy, ahoy, my friend. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Denny.
Right, we're going to get into our show. I don't know what you guys think in the chat about Tupac, if anybody else keeps up with it. It was weird because one day I was watching a documentary. This was a while back. And you know how sometimes your kid is watching something you don't think he's watching, you think he's playing, he's not paying attention. But for some reason, I was watching that Tupac Biggie documentary, and my kid watched it. And then he got all interested in it, and he was like trying to come up with his own theories on who killed it. And then when he found out that Keefe D was getting arrested or whatever, he was excited. Which is kind of weird.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I'm sure it's still going on, right?
It just started.
It just started, okay.
I hope they air it and give us all the details, which I think they will, because everybody's been talking about this for a long time. It's more of an 80s, 90s kids thing. It's more of us boomers. Girl Moore says, I think Tupac is alive. Of course you do. I've watched
Hell yeah, he's out there with Elvis.
Yeah, of course. Hanging out with Elvis and Eazy-E. I can't wait till they put that album out together. It's going to be dope. All right, y'all. Our paranormal topic for this week is going to be exorcisms. Now, exorcisms are always described as paranormal, but there's a lot of history behind them. I mean, you could almost say that there's a lot of documented evidence that it's real. Even today, thousands of people in places like Italy still get exorcisms every day. And so what I wanted to do to tackle this topic was I want to find some actual supernatural footage of an exorcism or a possessed person, because they always talk about and they show on these movies these people like crawling up the wall and doing this crazy triple jointed stuff whenever they're under the influence of the demons. So I tried to dig in and I didn't really find anything that looked really supernatural, but I did find a couple videos, a couple exorcisms that are kind of famous that were documented. And of course, I had to go to older stuff that's at least a few years old, because everything nowadays could be AI, and I don't trust nothing.
Yeah, and real quick before you show it. Did we ever talk about that thing that aired where it was like they thought it was like kids who were doing like a murder cult or whatever, and it wound up just being like a prank?
Sounds kind of familiar, but I'm not sure.
Did we ever talk about that? I sometimes I watch so much shit again. I'm like, did we talk about that or not? I think it's like 15 minutes long. It might be something that we could maybe just watch, because I think it's on YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe the way we're watching it.
Might
be something we can sit down and actually watch, because, again, it's one of those things where it's like, you kind of, obviously we know the truth after the fact, but, you know, while you're watching it, you're like, huh.
I'll tell you, you have to send me the link and let me check it out.
Yeah, I'll look it up. I'll look it up tonight.
DVOC says, do you think we really gonna get the truth from it? I'm doubtful. I mean, I feel like, yeah, if you guys look into it, like, Keefy D definitely did that shit. I mean, I'm pretty sure he's guilty. Rich Buddy said, years ago in big business, when I discovered financial fraud, I've been attacked by demons associated with Freemasons. Is this a real story? They tried to kill me twice. I had a friend in high school who talked about his uncle and said that his uncle was possessed, and that his uncle like laid an egg while he's on the toilet, and they think it was like a demon egg, and they flushed it. I'm serious. That's what he told me. I didn't see the egg or anything. I'm just telling you. And Rich Buddy himself saying that he was. So what was? I mean, can we get details? Need to have you on this one. Like, tell us what happened. I'm gonna get into some footage of some exorcisms, and I guess pretty much what we're trying to figure out. Excuse me. Is this person acting? So I got two different videos I want to show you guys. The first one is this lady who's like this really wealthy lady named Christina, and she had this exorcism performed on her because they said out of nowhere she just started acting like she was possessed or whatever. And like during the exorcism, which is actually over 30 minutes long, uncut, unedited, the link is in the description, you can see the whole thing. She's normal half the time, and then out of nowhere she'll just be acting all that. And then what's really kind of strange about this one and almost gets into the supernatural is her voice. Let me know if you feel like she could actually make this sound with her voice, because her voice, whenever she starts sounding like a demon, she sounds real freaking crazy. I'm gonna show you in 1 second. I want to see what's going on with Rich though. They tried to blow up the home next to me. The next time someone came in my home, tried to suffocate me in my sleep. They was trying to get him for financial. Oh, because you discovered some financial fraud. I remember my sister discovered some financial fraud. She thought people were coming after her too, but I think that was the mafia.
Two rules in life, man. If you fuck with a man's woman and a man's money, better watch your ass.
Or demons, apparently. That's
or demons.
Crazy.
Yeah, or demons.
All right, so let me know if you guys think this lady is acting or not. This video is about less than 2 minutes long, almost 2 minutes long, so I might not play the whole thing. It's kind of repetitive. All right, here we go. Gotta mute you, Mo.
Recedergo in nomine Patris et Filii et Spiritus Sancti, intercedente Immacolato Virgine Dei, Virgine Maria, da loco Spiritui Sancto, Deo de Spiritus Santo, vivi et regnat. Basta! Però, ecco la forma. No! No, Dio, l'amor mio, Santa Verga, non tenga stretto lei qui. Oh, benedetto mio. Odio, stupore detino, terrore conturba, el metus repili timoris exaltati, lentamente vanescano, da nomine santi invocazione, santissimi dopo la tua, guarda firme, signora, devi cadere famulare, per Christus Dominum nostrum, e Immacolato, alleluia, angeli, santi del paradiso, pendete su Cristina, la Maria nera, le messe nere, le messe nere, le messe nere, no, le messe nere, del suo fratello, del suo fratello, no,
All right. She's going crazy. I'm not gonna play the whole thing. It was almost over, and at the end, she calms down a little bit, and it's considered a successful exorcism. But here's the thing: you can look at the link down below. It's called The Last Exorcism. The reason why it's called The Last Exorcism is because the exorcist, that old man, the preacher, as soon as it was over, he started to feel sick. Within 2 weeks, he was dead. Shout out to Big A. All right,
What up, Big A?
Yeah, that's one. I mean, that's the lady that doesn't seem like she's acting to me, and that sound she's making with her voice is like, is that supernatural? Rich Buddy says, I found evidence they made a voodoo. Don't tell me. I don't want them coming after me, bro. They made a. Oh, okay. I thought you were gonna tell me the financial fraud evidence. I don't want to hear. He says I found evidence that they made a voodoo doll out of me, Santeria or something. So did you actually find the voodoo doll? Because I feel like that's a one-of-one collector's item right there. I'd put that up in my shelf.
Santeria.
Protect it. I love that song.
I ain't got no crystal ball.
Shout out to Sublime. Danielle C says, wouldn't she be fun to bring home to meet Mom? I mean, once she's exercised, she's cool. It almost sounds like she said, "Oh my diarrhea." Was she speaking in Italian? I think it's Italian. I know a lot of
Flashbacks, man. From like I said, the past week. And I don't think I listened to much Italian. It was mainly like Arabic, Greek.
Oh really? You've been reading?
Oh, yeah.
So you've been watching videos about it. I was gonna say, how you gonna read all that? All right, yeah.
So I'm doing read-alongs. Yeah.
So that was one example of like a more recent exorcism, but stuff really popped off back in the 1970s. People were starting to talk about it. We had film, we had TV for the first time, and that's whenever this girl popped up on BBC Scotland, and her name is Janet Hogston. So let's see. This is the lady who ended up becoming the story behind the Conjuring 2 movie. It's based on this lady right here. So like I said, it's back in 1977, and the family reported that they started hearing loud knockings on the wall, and their furniture started moving. They had just moved into this new house, and Janet was only 11 years old, and she was like being lifted from her bed out of nowhere, which is crazy. So they were making all these reports about it. BBC decided to come and interview this little girl, and this is what happened during the interview, and it's pretty freaking spooky. Maybe she's acting. Let me know. I showed it to Mo. Mo said it was creepy. So this is like what they aired. This is the original interview. So kind of pay attention to the little girl here and her voice and like the face, the mouth movements she's making.
You would think the BBC would change their name by now, but
right, I know.
You think there's anyone there just now?
Yeah, I do.
Who's that?
What?
Who's that, Janet?
Pardon? Stuart. Sam.
Stuart Certain, and he's one of the voices.
Yeah.
Why do you think he comes and speaks through you?
To annoy us.
Does he ever say anything nice?
Well, don't know really.
Shall we try and speak to him? No. We'll see if he'll speak to us.
Yeah.
Is anybody there?
No.
Who's there?
Doctor
Doctor Who?
Police chasers here.
You see how she's like, she would smile when she was like talking in the demon's voice, and then afterwards, in between, she had like this sad or like worried look on her face. Then when the voice was about to come out again, she was like smiling again, almost like it was the voice that was making her smile when it was talking. I don't know, man. It was kind of spooky to me. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Let me know what you think about that one. What about Ebonics? I don't know what that means. OG Merch is here. What's up, OG Merch? Says my ex-girlfriend's dad was into Santeria. What exactly does that mean? I just know the song. One night, her dad caught me in the back of the Jeep with his daughter. Is this part of the song? He ended up coming by my family's business and drawing a line of salt to open up the door to things. The door to things? What things? What is Santeria? Okay, we're gonna have to do some research. I just know the song.
Well, I can tell you, I thought the first one was better.
Holy crap! I thought that was for real. The little girl again. But no, there's
Yeah. So two things hit me on that. You ever watch the movie Blended with Adam Sandler and Drew Barrymore?
I don't think so. I'll be surprised. I mean, I never heard of it, but I thought I saw every Adam Sandler, Drew Barrymore movie.
Might be their best together. Might be better than Wedding Singer. But there's a scene with the young girl. She's hilarious, and she's like talking to Drew Barrymore, and she does that voice. But it also reminds me of I don't know if I can do it anymore. Remember Inspector Gadget?
Oh yeah.
How could you Gadget?
Yes, that does sound like him. So here's the thing about it, though. The voice apparently, or the entity that was haunting her, or was actually possessed, said that his name was Bill Wilkins. And what's crazy is that they found out later that a former resident named William Charles Wilkins had died in the house in 1963 after going blind. William Wilkins, which is, of course, his name would be Bill Wilkins. I mean, I don't know the legitimacy of all that, but it is a famous case. And you heard the voice yourself. OG says, I like to believe if our belief system is stronger than the idea, then I can pretend it doesn't exist. Man, if he's sprinkling out a line of salt, man, I'm not stepping over it. I'll tell you that much. I'm staying away from that area.
Like
I said, that was The Conjuring Part 2 was based on that one. Rich Buddy says Santeria is that South American voodoo witch. Oh, that fake voodoo witchcraft. Nah, if you ain't in Haiti.
Whoa. This is not the opinion of
My
both.
bad. I'm sorry. I take it back. I don't know that much about
brother.
it. I don't know that much about it. Sorry.
Listen, I just told you, I got done reading the Bible and stuff this week, some other stuff. I don't need any of this in my life.
No, I'm going to wake up with my car circled in a line of salt. I don't want that to happen. So, Big A says, salt line is for protection. Okay, I live in New Orleans. Yeah, New Orleans might be legit. We know all about Santeria and voodoo.
For pussies.
True. I better shut up. The Believer is an odd, good movie about Santeria. The Believer. That sounds good. The Believers. Yeah, I might check that one out. Biggest Bro says, no, Walt, don't tempt the fates. Yeah, like I said, I'm going to wake up and there's going to be salt all around my house. No. But the exorcism stuff's crazy.
Well, people like me and you got to be careful, though, because we're skinny as hell. So if people actually want to make a voodoo doll of me and you, that's quick work.
That is. You get a couple twigs.
Like, you can mass produce those things in like an hour. You can have like fucking 10 of each.
Just snap it and we're done. What are you gonna do?
Exactly.
And speaking of snapping it, you can tell that it's a legit phenomenon because there are multiple people that have died during exorcisms or because of possession. So I don't know if you guys believe it in the chat. Let me know in the chat if you believe that the exorcisms are real. Of course, some people would say that these are people that just have some type of mental problem going on, and because they come from a religious family or they are deep into religion, that it manifests through that. Maybe. I don't know.
Well, I believe some of that, right? So, again, we're talking about the United States, Christian background, we talked about it. But from my own experience, where I'm high as shit back in the day, there are days I probably thought I needed like an exorcism, but I just always told myself, dude, you're just way too high, relax, it'll go away, right? No one ever died from weed.
True.
But then I had an issue for a short period of time. My vitamin B levels when I worked outside used to fucking go rock bottom.
Oh, really?
I wondered, my vitamin, because I used to drink a bunch of Red Bull and coffee.
Oh, okay.
And I would go out and shovel like a massive fucking apartment complex in the snow. And one day my whole body just gave out. I couldn't feel my arms, fucking walked in the door of my mom's house where I was staying. I was just like, hit the fucking wall and I just, boom, on the ground. Woke up, the fucking ambulance was there. It was crazy.
Dang.
But anyway, in those times of being too high or, potassium, vitamin B, rock bottom, that's what I looked like and that's what I felt like. Not with the voice and whatever, but you know, like my body was like convulsing, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, if you sprinkle in some of the religious aspect, if that's what the people believe,
True.
yeah, you might lead to an exorcism here or there, or maybe 67.
Like I said, there's a lot of reports of supernatural stuff happening, but like I said, that we've got video now. How come we're not catching any of this supernatural stuff on video? Big A says exorcisms are no more real than those people that fell over those, that fall over for those money preachers waving their hands. And the snake bite churches, man, we're down in that Midwest area. We got those around here. People go there and like purposely get bit by the snake because they just want to prove that God's going to protect them. Except for the ones that die. Grandma Moore said then they just weren't real believers. Grandma Moore says, I grew up with Poltergeist, and although, yes, Poltergeist is a crazy one. All those crazy 80 movies, I believe in the Exorcist stuff. I mean, there's a lot of evidence out there. A lot of people in the Poltergeist movie died mysteriously. Yeah, that one, not only that. There's a bunch of movies, those old movies that have a lot of lore to them, like Wizard of Oz. Like, you could actually see where one of the elves hung them, was it dwarfs? One of the dwarves hung themselves, and you can, if you hit the right copy, you could see it, the dwarf hanging in the background of one of the shots, which is crazy. Did you know that?
Yeah, there's like a special director's murderers edition or something.
I don't know, maybe. All right. We'll have to check. That might have to be
Or is
a
that
topic.
the Logan Paul?
Yeah, Logan Paul's the one that released that one. Let me get to the sports topics for this week. We didn't have a ton of stuff to talk about in sports, but I definitely wanted to talk about the boys in yellow and gold, the Los Angeles Lakers. They were just sold to this dude like Mark Warner, I think is his name, 10 months ago for a crazy price that people didn't expect. Like, whoa, this dude just paid $10 billion for the Los Angeles Lakers. That was only 10 months ago, and now, out of nowhere, these Trump dudes, these right-wing billionaires, Bob Iger and Jared Kushner's brother, Josh Kushner, have come in and have bought the Lakers from Mark Warner. And there's a little bit of controversy going on behind it in that, of course, Kushner's going to be a little bit associated with Trump, and then Trump's FBI, right after Mark Warner bought the Lakers, started this secret probe into Mark Warner that Mark Warner knew about but wasn't allowed to talk about. And they didn't even mention that this probe was even happening until after what just happened, which was them selling the Lakers. So some people think that was shady. Maybe it was like the Trump administration or Trump himself, his mafia was trying to force this Warner guy to sell. I mean, maybe
Even the Los Angeles Lakers are Trump problem. Oh my God.
Is it not a Kushner that just bought it? Where do you think he got that money from?
I do have to give you that, all right. As much as I give you shit, yeah, I talk shit about Kushner too. So
he's coming out of nowhere, and now they're buying up the Lakers. They're just laundering money on the NBA, I think. Rich Buddy says the Omen movie, actors too. Lots of them died. I've seen that movie too. It's a good one.
I forgot, chat. Listen, I tried to get trademarked and get the, you know, the hog off the stream and maybe like the commie and the centrist, you know, like I wanted years ago, but it's not flying. So I gotta know my role, you know.
I don't know.
Go Trump, yeah. go.
No. That's just the name of the channel. If I'm able to turn you into a commie, that's going to make me like one of the greatest commies of all time. I turned a hog, so by all means, give me your free. That's all I care about is your actual real thoughts.
I told you the day we met and we started talking this crap what my ideology was. Pretty centrist leaning.
You voted for Trump, though.
Doesn't matter. I voted for Biden. It's the same shit.
But you also still say you would rather have Trump than Kamala.
100%.
Well, that's
closed borders, businesses back in America. Yeah, I'll take that. But anyway, so what else do you want to say about Trump with the Lakers?
Certified hog. Rich Buddy says Kushner's and Trump, all the billions made free from. That's what I'm saying. They're trying to launder that money. Maybe not even just the crypto money. They don't even need to launder the crypto money, which is one of the topics in politics we never talk about, even though we're kind of crypto centric. Because I feel like that's one people talk about a little too much, acting like it was all these MAGA people that got rugged. But you think MAGA people know how to buy Solana meme coins? Come on, it was just crypto people
what do you
that
mean?
got rugged. Not that many. It was people, MAGA people that were already in crypto like you bought it.
Oh, okay, yeah. But I was the guy that got, remember I did on stream, I was live. I tried to do a $10,000 buy on Trump and I thought I got through and it fucking got denied.
Ooh, I didn't know about that. That's kind of messed up. Especially after pumped after that.
I don't know if BE was there. I think my boy Troy was there, Voxen was there. Yeah, man. It was like $7. I tried to buy 10 grand worth.
I brag about my Trump purchase too much, but once again, I purchased the Trump coin at $4 per coin, and then again at $10 per coin, and sold them all at $72 per coin and $65 per coin.
Yeah, and again, don't want to be like, oh, Team Trump, because really not. What do you do? What, 3 days later? Melania.
That was
right?
the worst. That's
like,
what ruined it.
You know, constantly, I'm not like using this metaphor anymore, but stealing from Peter and Paul to pay Mary. And me and you were Peter and Paul, and they were married. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got screwed on that deal. Well,
No, I cashed out. I cashed out.
I mean, I
ahead of
cashed
time.
out too. But still, had they not split the coin and split the supply, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, that was horrible. But I don't want to brag too much here. I cashed out and then I put half of it all at one time into Ryan Fournier, which is a member of the Trump administration who had just tweeted about the TikTok meme coin, and I put half of that money that I made, which was like $3,000, I made like $7,000, half of it $3,500 into that coin. And I promise you, bro, less than 25 seconds after I put my money into that coin, it rugged to zero. Gone.
I believe it.
Ryan Fournier, that's what I call him. I'm not a fan of that guy. Big A says, how about Trump sitting on boards of companies at age 19? He's already got $150 million.
Stop ruining sports, chat. Damn it, you're ruining sports.
I need to save this. Okay, we still got a couple of the other ones. Boxed
I have to defend. No, I have to defend this again in like 7 minutes. You guys have no idea.
We need to do a topic on the meme coins, though. All right, I don't know what's going on with the Lakers. Also, apparently the Bus family, they're trying to sell their last 17%, but Jeannie Bus is saying no, and there's 5 other siblings who say yes, so now they're having a fight in the courts about that one. All right, moving on to MLB baseball. My man, Jason Bays. He's been in the minor leagues for a few years now. I think his rookie card is 2022. He's got rookie cards in 2023, 2024. He finally got called up to the big leagues, and let's see how he did. Well, I'll go ahead and tell you his first at-bat ever in the major leagues. He hit a home run. And then in his second at-bat ever in the major leagues, he hit a home run. Now let's check out what happened on his third ever at-bat in the major leagues in the same game.
Swing, drive, well hit right. Suzuki back. It is gone. It is gone. It is gone. 3 homers for Baez. Major League history at Wrigley Field.
My man hit 3 home runs in a row in his debut. Hold up.
Decent build.
What's that?
Boy, he had a doubleheader the day after, or 2 days later. Motherfucker went 0 for 9 in 2 games. So, I mean, you know, yeah, 3 for 3, first 3 at bats is crazy. But I watched an interview with Will Clark. You know who that is?
What? Oh,
Will Clark?
The old school player? Yeah, he's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, so he was on some podcast or whatever, and they were talking about getting into coaching or whatever. He was like, you think I want to coach a bunch of pussies that hit 40 home runs but they bat 210? He's like, get the fuck out of here. Because that's a big problem with most of these guys nowadays, is that they just swing for the fences or they just swing and miss, you know? So,
yeah,
anyway.
There were a lot of the big hitters back in the day were like that. The same people like Barry Bonds, who had the most home runs, also had the most strikeouts. But I thought it was cool that he did this, and then all his cards like pumped like crazy. So if you had any of his cards, you could have sold them right then for like some really, really good prices, which is a reminder if you're a card collector, whenever you're opening up these packs, maybe you get a good autograph of a rookie you had never heard of, you haven't seen him play yet, hold on to it because something like this could happen. And then also it resulted in the greatest tweet ever. Here's the greatest tweet ever. This is a dude who tweets about baseball all the time. He's a big Cardinals fan. He saw that my man Jason Bays was getting called up, so he tweeted out, this dude's going 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts in his debut. And he ended up going 3 for 3 with 3 home runs. So that's got to go down in history as the worst tweet ever or something, the worst prediction ever.
If your name is Michael Bush Lover, you've already lost. Like, you just at Bush MVP. Like, what the fuck are we doing here? You know what I mean?
I just thought it was hilarious. What's up, SoFlo? Good to see you in the chat. Actually, that's one of the first topics I have in politics is at the Trump bank. We're definitely going to be talking about that for sure. I think from now on, only crypto-positive presidents should win. I mean, you would think that would be...
We thought we had that.
But now people are going to be even less happy or going to be less open to the idea of crypto or crypto-friendly presidents because Trump ran so many crypto schemes. You know, they're not going to trust crypto now.
Well, and he ran on fucking legislation and clarification. You know what I'm saying? Like, he told us that's what we're getting. You know?
They keep talking about the Clarity Act, but they haven't passed it yet. Big A says Will Clark is from my high school, Jesuit in New Orleans.
Waste of money I ran.
It's pretty tight. I got a MLB legend that's from my area. I think it's from my high school, Walt Terrell. He wasn't in the Hall of Fame or anything. And then here's one more thing in sports. MoKnowz was the one who brought this up to me, and this was
is cool, man.
what's that?
This is cool.
Well, I think what it was is that it was an unknown girl that people hadn't really heard about. She's in high school, and they had this all-star event. Shaq was holding it, where it was like all-star players from around the country, and they got to see this girl named Gigi Banks for the first time, and she's a basketball player, and her handles for a girl or even for a dude are wild.
Banks in transition when she's deadly. Oh my God.
Follow rebounds. So that's what's killing us in the game. We're not getting stopped after
I gotta mute you during video.
What is it going to take to
Great guard. It's so hard to Macy Pringle is a really good defender. But class of 2027, here we go. Oh, what a pass! They are just locked in at an entirely different pace. As Gigi, that each team makes, it's a Jolly Ranchers 3.
He's cheating.
So ISO World make a 3 while Gigi is, oh my goodness.
10 rebounds, 5 steals, and oh my gosh, was she saucy with the rock.
Oh, she don't dribble, she floats.
It's just like a defense.
Oh my goodness. They probably won't understand or feel unless they in the moment playing in this arena.
To my coach and talking to all the girls, I just felt like I really fit in with
So many chances at the rim for point blank range.
Man. Angel Reese.
There she is. Gigi Banks she's going to college next, so she's gonna be in college for 4 years. Probably go to Connecticut. That's who gets all the good girls basketball players. But as more and more girl players come up that have skills like this, maybe the WNBA is gonna begin to get a little more exciting. We already got Caitlin Clark. I don't know. I like it. Shout out to Jay Brownlee. What's up, Jay Brown? What do you think, Mo?
No, I agree. As a matter of fact, I remember what game it was. I think it was like the Lynx and somebody else. I don't know how the hell I stumbled across it. But I use like one of these websites where I can just flip through games or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm like flipping through, multi-streaming, trying to put another game on. I'm like, what's this? And I saw the basketball. I knew it was chicks, and I'm like, oh, who's playing? I watched for like 2 minutes. I was like, oh, I actually kind of looked legit for a minute. And even when this wasn't even the Fever, you know what I'm saying? Like this wasn't Caitlin Clark and then it was the Lynx, which I think they're pretty good anyway.
Yeah.
I forgot who they were playing. But anyway, I was like, damn, okay. It looks like it's, progressing to be a better league.
Yeah, well, I saw a highlight video the other day. It's been a while now. I almost brought it up on one of our streams. It was this one girl from somewhere in the Middle East. She like played with the hijab on, and she had handles like crazy, and she was cooking everybody out there. So girls are coming up playing. You never know. Mo, how come I can't see your mouth move? Your mouth ain't moving with your head.
Oh, yeah. Why isn't it?
All right, we're gonna move on to politics, y'all. I was just checking because sometimes when I do clips, it works better with your mouth moving. Oh man, there was something new. I don't think I've clipped it, but there was something new that just happened today that really should have been the dumbest thing Trump said all week. It gets updated every day. We always start off our politics section with what I think is the dumbest thing Trump said this week. So this is what I had picked out. But like I said, I think something topped it earlier on. All right, let's check it out.
So for you to pay a tiny little bit more for your gasoline, just remember, you're doing it so that a very evil country cannot have a country. Really, it's the #1 state sponsor of terror in the world. We don't want to have them have a nuclear weapon. So remember that when you have to pay a little bit more, you're at $4. It's okay. I mean, it's I'll never apologize. I did the right thing. But you could, if you didn't have.
Who are these crazy people in the background that are cheering that? Okay, so what he had said was that it's okay that you have to pay $4 or more in gas because he did the right thing by making sure Iran doesn't get nuclear weapons, and he's not sorry for it. He'll never apologize for it. So I think that's stupid as hell because obviously Iran was not even trying to get nuclear weapons. We were just told 8 months prior that they had destroyed their entire nuclear arsenal and capabilities, and then we were told a year prior to that by the girl with the white thing in her hair that it was the CIA that told us that not only did Iran not have nukes, they weren't even trying to get nukes. So the whole thing is just bullcrap in the first
But it's not always America. It's also independent fucking people that do these studies at these sites. Like, it's not just us.
It's just Israel.
Yeah. Israel runs the world, right?
I'm just saying, they're the ones that are propagating this idea that Iran is going to have nukes in 2 weeks, and they've been saying it for 40 years.
No. There's been way more people saying it than that.
Who?
But I told you, remember 3 letters I told you last week. R-E-E.
Yes.
Remember
Rare
them.
earth elements.
Yes, remember them. Learn them. Because everything that is going on over there is a fucking lie. Everything. From Ukraine to Iran. It's all a lie. All they want is the REEs to get them back here so we can finally, do our advanced energy and stuff like that.
You don't think it's about the oil? Because it seems like once they took all the money or took over Venezuela and then started stealing their oil, and now they're illegally drilling for oil on Greenland, and they're messing with Cuba, which also has oil, and now they're in Iran, which also is one of the biggest carriers of oil that don't probably
They also have
something
the
to do with them.
REEs, and like I said, the same thing with Biden. Biden was going to he wanted to get by 2035 was the goal. Trump still wants to try to transition, but Trump's goals is not, he wanted to go, not cut and dry like Biden, but you got to do something. But the more I was looking it up, like all these magnets and shit that they need for all these fucking nuclear fusion, fission, fucking all these things, bro, like it's a lot, and we don't have it here. So if we don't have it here, and guess who has most of it? We talked about it last week. China. Yeah. Not only do they own like 70% of the supply, they refine 90%. So, we're way behind. We're way behind.
Big A says Trump held up a prescription price article bragging about it, but the article itself says it's basically because of Biden's programs. Yeah, I actually bookmarked that. I didn't make it into a graphic for this, but I did see that where Trump was holding up his prescription price article, an article about how prescription prices have dropped and bragging about it. But the article itself says that the reason that the prices have dropped was because of Biden's economic policies when he was in office, of course, which makes sense. All right.
He was the one that cut the deal, and him and RFK were the ones that were exposing all the bullshit and the fraud.
What fraud did they expose?
In the medical?
Yes.
Yeah, all the people that have been on benefits that are now getting off. Like I said, I know people that were on them.
What,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
who got indicted?
For what?
For anything, for any crime related to...
Never. Who gets indicted on either side? Nobody.
So then they didn't catch anything. If they
Welcome
caught
to American
something, then
politics.
somebody would be indicted.
No, because they're making the changes. I'm saying they're trying to come in. They're trying to they cut the deal with the prescriptions. They're trying to go in, make America healthy again.
All right, well, we're going to talk about making America healthy again here in a second. But first, we got to start off with the big topic that seems to be on everybody's mind on Twitter. Maybe it's not the biggest topic, but it's the USS Abraham Lincoln. It's also a few other ships. I think we talked about it a little bit last week. But the family of the USS members are concerned about the conditions. And then Trump, whenever he's told by that by a reporter, his answer is no, they're not. So he's saying that the family's lying. And then they asked him, has the deployment gone on too long? And just to be a dick, he says, not nearly long enough. And if you don't believe me, I have that clip. Let's listen to it.
No. Not nearly long enough. Thank you, everybody.
That's wild. So he just don't even give a crap about none of these dudes. They've been at sea for like over 9 months. Of course, the people on the right are saying that this is all made up and it's like just, the media trying to pretend like something's happening that's not really happening. So what do you think about it, Mo?
Is it America first?
Yes, our soldiers are America.
There we go. So what do I say?
Send them home?
Bring them home, baby.
Well,
bring them on home. Stop.
Well, your buddy.
Stop patrolling everybody else's shit. Stop saying my buddy. God damn it.
Donald doesn't want to bring them home. He says they haven't been out nearly long enough. Not just that they should come home here in a couple months or whatever. Just not even nearly long enough. Like they need to go like 3 times as long.
I don't know if you said that, but...
Well, that's what I took out of it. All right, moving on to Iran. So...
A stretch,
We're back... I don't know. Are we at war with Iran this time? Or are we not at war with Iran? I can't keep
Holy crap. I rely on you to keep me in the freaking loop.
Well, basically, the latest thing Trump says is that he is going to now... he's going to make the Strait of Hormuz an actual territory of the United States of America, which means anybody born in that area... Would they be Americans? I don't know. But apparently, Trump doesn't think things through. He says that the strait is open, although no ships are going through. So I don't understand how the strait is open if no ships are going through. And then Iran is now threatening to do some more attacks. They've been trying to make some type of treaty with Oman, which is in the region, and it's one of our allies. It's a literal, actual ally. And Donald Trump decided to threaten Oman and say that he's going to destroy them, even though he's our ally, just for talking to Iran. So I don't know, man. Like I said, it's hard for me to keep up with it. How many times has Trump said that this war is over? How many times has he said that Iran has been begging for an agreement? How many times has he said that their whole entire military, their navy, and their...
How many times did he say we weren't going to war?
Exactly. So
I mean, listen, like I said, you ain't selling me on nothing here. So the second we got involved with Israel against Iran, I think that's pretty much... I was already out of the whole MAGA. But as far as like some stuff, I was like, all right, like, it makes sense. The REs, yada, yada, yada. I can't. I just can't anymore. Right? It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's hard to defend it at this point, but there still are people out there that are, you know, part of the Trump cult that will defend it. Maybe anybody in the chat who thinks that it's a good idea that we're in Iran right now, even though, you know, all of us that are paying the prices are the ones that are really suffering from it. All of the soldiers that are out there and aren't able to come home are suffering from it. All the people in Iran are suffering from it. Who's gaining anything from this besides Benjamin Netanyahu?
Well, like I said, if we follow through on what Trump wants to do, because they're trying to take advantage of some unknown deposit in like the mountain area,
or some REs.
Yeah, like I'm saying, like it's so a lot of these RE deposits, I guess, are known. So once they're known about it, it's hard for especially us to get in there and start getting access to it, right? Because then you start getting all sorts of red tape. But if it's something where they're like, okay, well, it's indigenous to this area, in that mountain area, well, if it's not really on anybody's radar yet, we can just kind of come in, you know what I'm saying, take over the area, boom, and now we're in. Now who's gonna question us because we are the red tape? You know what I'm saying? Like that's how I think he saw it playing out, not the whole stalemate of however fucking long it's been.
Yeah, if we were to do that, we should just do it and then wouldn't announce it until it was already over, so that they wouldn't try to stop us. But I don't know. Maybe.
But why not just own up to it?
Yeah.
Listen, if you lie to us, American people, and you say that we're going in there for, you know, we're there for, you know, whatever, to help the people of Israel and yada yada yada, but we're also here for oil, we'll just tell people the truth. No, listen, I want to give you guys an alternative energy. We have a plan, because they do have a plan. Same way Biden had a plan. Trump says like 3-5 years later, but nonetheless, there's a plan and they're similar. But to get that going, they have to get these REs. You understand what I'm saying? So the faster they can get in, try to get them back over here, why not just tell the American people? Like, yo, we can just go over there, bomb the shit out of them, not even bomb them, just go in, take it, come back, and now we're good. Because the American people,
sure.
The American people would be like, all right, you know what, maybe I'm more for the future of our country because we need these supplies, right?
Right.
Because without these supplies, where are we getting them from? China. Who's going to fucking bend us over backwards? China. You understand what I'm saying?
Yep.
But that, again, I'm not justifying any of it at all. But I'm just saying, from that perspective, I feel like if you told the American people all this stuff about the REs and the technology it goes into with the magnets and the reactors, yeah, guess what? I bet you even some people on the left would be like, you know what? Alternative energy, let's get off this fucking, you know, let's get off coal, blah, 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 blah. They might even get on board. Who the hell knows?
Yeah, everybody's all for some new alternative energy, try to get off of the oil. Like Grandma Moore says, we need to protect the petrodollar, but the way this Iran thing is going is wrong. Yeah, it just keeps on going. There's no way to get out of it now. That's the problem.
There's not a single person I know that likes Trump still that's like, oh yeah, keep wasting time and money in Iran. Nobody's happy with it.
Well, like I was telling Mo, I had just seen something a few days ago from
I was wondering if that was going to segue. Yep.
YouTube channel called The Good Liars. I don't know if anybody there watches them, but what they do is they go around to MAGA rallies and they interview the people, but they don't really like give on that they're left wing or anything. They just ask them questions, and this one was in Long Island, so it was kind of cool to see Long Island and just see all the old people in all the red hats and the MAGA outfits. Like, Mo is not lying. There's a lot of right-wingers out there on Long Island. I was looking for Mo, but I did not see an animated skeleton running around.
And you will
nowhere.
You know what I look like. You will never see me at one of these things. Never.
Oh, I don't blame you. All right. let's move on to something that know Mo does like, that I don't like, and that's that MAHA. We were talking about it earlier. My man RFK Jr. Just in foodborne illnesses have gone up by 400% this year since the beginning of 2026. The increase is linked to RFK Jr.'s radical changes to food safety standards. And we've been seeing lots of new illnesses or old illnesses coming back. We've been having a lot of recalls. You can see over 9,000 people were infected with the iceberg lettuce that was bad. We had the, was it Taylor Foods? We talked about that a couple of weeks ago. At first, they linked this outbreak to Taylor Foods, and then because Taylor Foods had donated $1 million to Trump, the Trump administration decided to say, no, it actually wasn't. It was a false positive. It wasn't Taylor Foods. And then now we found out, yes, actually it was Taylor Foods. And now Taylor Foods is laying off hundreds or maybe even thousands of their employees. And a lot of it has to do with the crazy and not very smart policies of Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Or am I crazy, Mo?
I mean, to a certain extent, there's probably some truth. But, you know, when you change regulations or policies, I don't know which one you want to talk about, but there's also some people, you know, they said they didn't have enough workers. Now you can blame that on mass deportations, that they didn't have people to work these farms. You know what I'm saying? But apparently they didn't have the numbers. So there's probably multiple factors here. But
what do you think about his stances on vaccines lately, saying that was it Tylenol causes autism, and saying that vaccines cause autism, and then I think Trump just came out with recommendations to spread out all of your vaccination shots for babies over a longer period of time, as if he was a doctor or something.
Yeah, but as if that we just keep adding on more and more vaccinations, and they're like, oh yeah, just do them all at the same time. Like, no, you probably shouldn't just jam a kid with all these fucking things at the same time. Like, yeah, well, we'll see what happens.
I understand.
I wouldn't want to do that to my kid.
Wait. I understand your logic, and I understand Donald Trump's logic here. But don't you think doctors have thought of that before? And don't you think doctors would know better than you or Donald Trump about how much we should give them at what time?
If doctors weren't as corrupt by money as politicians, I might agree with you. But again, most of the time in modern medicine, they're backed by the dollar and not really common sense. And that's my biggest problem. So that being said, no, again, I think it's just putting all this shit in these kids at one time. Yeah, if you're going to do it, stagger them out. Now, again, people say, oh, look what happened with, you know, when we introduced vaccines back in the day. Yeah, that's also when people started washing themselves. You know what I mean? Like they started getting clean. So there is some correlation there. You know, was it the vaccines? Was it the fact that people had access to actually wash their ass for once? I don't know. You can go back in time and take away one and find out. Maybe.
Grandma Moore says, I love RFK Jr. He is making smart decisions, a few bad ones, but good bigger ones. What are the good ones? Can you tell me one of the good ones? The vaccine thing is so wrong. My kids had about 18 vaccines. Kids now have 72. This is wrong. I'm going to trust the
that's
doctors.
what I think. Yeah, but then you look at like the rates of, and I think I'm not going to blame this a lot on vaccines or anything else, but of what they diagnose these kids with, and they juice them up on pills and shit, whether it's for ADHD or what's the other one?
Shut
like
up.
They give them like one or the other. But either way, they either want to like dope these kids up to get them like hyped up or dope them down. You know what I mean? Like it's one or the other. They get them on something, and yeah, the fucking percentages are sky high. So I like what RFK Jr. is doing in the aspect that he's trying to remove all this crap that wasn't in my food growing up. You know what I mean? And I just saw something this morning, I guess, like the past. But like all the shit, and people are like, oh, this is kind of cool. And some people are like, oh, I like that in my food. And you look like the UK, they don't have any of that crap. You know what I mean? Canada, they don't have that crap. You know, but the US has it, you know, because people are making a fucking buck. So.
Yeah, like I think there was some kind of coloring that goes in the cereals, the Fruit Loops or something. They compared it with the ones that they sell in the United Kingdom, and they're all just like yellow or whatever, and ours are all different colors. But, you know, that's not good stuff. That's not a good thing. It's just for the visuals. These are bad chemicals that we're putting in our bodies to get that color.
Yeah, and if you want to go back further, I mean, shit. Look at the size of kids that were, 13, 14 back in our day compared to now. These kids look like they're fucking 20 sometimes. I'm like, holy shit, this guy, you know what I'm saying? He can probably bench press me easily. And it's like, no, because we can go down maybe a China route if we really wanted to. Remember who controls the majority of the world's grain supply. But, yeah, our food's been getting fucked with and doctored with for God knows how long. you know, whether it's to make people more emotional, less masculine, there's all sorts of studies and shit you can read on it. But yeah, I feel like, yeah, something definitely changed from when I was a kid up until now.
Yeah, I personally don't believe that. I think everybody at every stage had some kids in their high school that had some mustaches before everybody else. Big A says, saying doctors are motivated by money for vaccines is pretty far off. Doctors could care less about an extra $30 for a vaccine. Plus, if doctors are motivated by money and that's going to be a problem with our vaccines, if we can trust vaccines, maybe we should have Medicare for all, universal health care, and then we wouldn't have to worry about that, would we? Grandma Moore says,
me, I will do it with a vice tax.
Vice tax for what? For
we got
getting plastic surgery?
No, so we can get universal health care.
Oh, that's how you're going to pay for it. Got you. Yeah, I'm down with that. Grandma Moore says,
remember, vice tax, we use yours. You're my vice president, right? We got to keep the left and the right in check. So we got the vice tax, and then we got yours was the recording, right? If you record like a crime, you could be charged with that crime too. I love that. I think France actually enabled that, enacted it after me talked about it.
If you record a crime, you can be charged with that crime too?
Yeah, if you record it.
Why would that be a good thing?
Because it'll stop these fucking retards that want to go on TikTok with fucking footage instead of trying to help somebody from fucking getting raped, fucking murdered, whatever. You know what I mean? If you record something to turn it over to the police as evidence or something, like here's who beat this kid up, yeah, that's fine. But if you record this shit and post it on your TikTok, yeah, you could be held, you know, liable for that shit too. Fuck that.
Grandma Marsh says, look at all these weird things kids have now, like food allergies and autism and strange diseases we have never heard of when I was a kid, linked to vaccines. They're not linked to vaccines. They're linked to more diagnoses and more diseases being found and more allergies being found. Like, they say things like, oh, people didn't have as many kids with autism back in the day. Yeah, well, that's because we didn't understand autism as much and we didn't diagnose it as much as we do now. Does it necessarily mean that a higher percentage of kids now have autism than they did back then? No, we just diagnose it differently now, right?
And does it mean it's easier to diagnose it and prescribe prescription medication for it? So instead of having good parents, they just get lazy and they bring their kids there and then they get dosed up? Does that happen too?
Yes, I think that's the problem too. That's what I'm saying. That's good. Universal healthcare solves that problem. I don't even know why we created that problem.
Solves that problem.
We're the only country in the world that is industrialized that doesn't have universal healthcare, that has to deal with wondering if our doctor is being motivated by money or not. Grandma Moore says most of the food and vaccines we have here are not allowed in other countries. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Grandma Moore says it is from mercury in the vaccines. That is what Kennedy's trying to do, get the mercury. That's what he said, but I mean, how long has he been in office? He says he's going to do all this stuff, but it all seems to be like just a conspiracy theory that never panned out. Same with the Tylenol creates autism.
I mean, again, I don't really care if it's debunking the left, debunking the right, but when I see funny shit, I see funny shit. And I saw some video that popped up on my feed where it was like, talking about the mercury, and they were like, oh, like, but what about the thermometer in the living room or some shit? And they were like, oh, you mean this thermometer that's like 3 rooms away from me in a sunroom? Like, that's not going to affect me, bro. Like, it's not the same shit. Because people are trying to call it out, like, oh, you have mercury around you. It can't be the vaccine, the mercury.
That'd be different if it's in your body, obviously.
It would be different if you slept on top of the fucking thermometer.
Right. All right.
Then, maybe, you know.
I did want to mention Trump banks, which somebody pointed out earlier in the chat. And we talked about a little bit last week. My other cat, her daughter, is stuck in my room. I gotta let me yell for my kid to fix this.
Okay. So while he does that, chat, we're gonna fall back on my positions here, because he should already know how I feel about this without even asking me. Because he knows that if I were running for office, what would happen?
What'd you say? Now I feel like I missed something. Oh.
Well, I was talking to chat, but
okay.
I was just saying, based on, this is why I've been talking to you about, you know, my positions if I ran for office as a joke, right? Because I want you to know how I feel about certain things, because looking at this, knowing what you know about me, whether you call me MAGA or not, you know how I feel about this.
What about the Trump bank thing that he's doing?
Yeah. The first thing that would happen if I was president, nobody would own anything.
Would you say nobody would own anything?
Not if you're related to the president. Okay. Any family members, if you had like.
But you knew what Trump was like whenever you voted for him, so I guess that doesn't really matter that much to you, does it?
Well, it's a small price to pay to a certain extent for closed borders and, you know, trying to bring Made in the USA back. But I think it also showed people that he will go too far. And I think I already knew that. Again, you can ask my girl. I've been telling her that for years. So I was like, give him the chance. He will go too far.
It does seem like this new bank idea that he's doing that has now been approved is going to be used once again for more, guess what? Money laundering. They're laundering all this money. We just talked about last week how he had over 3,000 of his accounts closed for money laundering, and all this money from Venezuela's oil is disappearing. Put 2 and 2 together, folks. Big A says just the interest on the money the government owes is the second biggest annual expense. But who do they pay the interest to? I never understood that. Grandma Moore says the mercury levels increased in the mid-80s for some reason. They have been decreasing it in the early 2000s, but it needs to be removed completely. It does need to be removed completely. I learned a lot about mercury and how it never like leaves your body at all once it gets up in there. I didn't know they were putting mercury in the vaccine still, though. So yeah, there's a conflict of interest problem we have.
What would be
with
the
this.
alternative?
What's that?
What would be the alternative?
I'm not a doctor. I would like to know if there, what's the point of putting it in there? Is there an alternative to, for whatever reason we have it in there in the first place? I don't know. I'm not a doctor. Big A
I don't know. Typically, if I'm like, I don't like something,
Oh.
I'm like, what is out? What else is out there? It's typically the road I go down. Instead of just being like, I don't like it.
Yeah, the problem with the national debt, Big A, is I never talk about the debt even since before Trump. It's always the deficit, because if we never get that yearly deficit down to zero and then a surplus, then no matter what, the debt always goes up, and you can't lower your interest payments if your debt is always going up. So the key is to get the deficit down to below zero and to have a surplus. And last time we had a surplus was under Bill Clinton. And I've put up the stats before many times. The deficits always go way, way up. The yearly deficit goes way, way up under Republican presidents. And then Democrat presidents like Obama cut the deficit. Obama cut the deficit by 50% in 8 years, the yearly deficit. That's what we have to cut. Joe Biden didn't cut it very much, but Trump has, of course, blown it up to proportions it's never been at before.
Yeah, but it has nothing to do with how long it takes to go into effect, and the cycle has nothing to do with that, right?
Huh?
Where if one party enacts something, by the time it actually is trickled down and takes effect and everybody gets on board, sometimes it's not even the same fucking administration.
Well, we have a yearly budget. It's all about what our yearly budget, what Congress passes for the yearly budget.
Right. But take building back in America, for instance, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. Companies have committed. We're not going to see that shit till like 2028. Trump ain't even going to be here. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah,
maybe
shit like that.
Maybe he won't be here. Grandma Moore says, I loved Bill Clinton. Then later in life, I learned he made bad deals we are dealing with now. Like, what bad deals? I know one of them was one of his trade deals wasn't too great. But he was probably better than any Republican in your lifetime. He was definitely better than Reagan, who sold us out to the corporations. But we're talking about Trump today, so let's get back into Trump. And let's talk about this letter, this new Epstein letter that was originally withheld by the Department of Justice, and then it was released, and they think that the Donald Trump name was supposed to be redacted from this, but because it's in handwriting, they missed it. And in the letter that was part of the FBI files that were withheld, it says that the person's testimony, and it's from this girl who was 13 years old at the time, says that they placed Donald Trump as a person who was selling girls to Jeffrey Epstein's estate, and then also said the Saudis for some reason. So this is a girl who they interviewed 3 different times, and they put in their files that this is a credible witness. There's a little bit of course, the people on the right are always going to come up with their counter argument. Now, there's a little bit of discrepancy in her letter in that it says it on here somewhere in the letter. And the year, if you put all the time together, what she's talking about Epstein doing and selling kids to Saudi Arabia, he was like 15 or 16 years old at the time. And people are like, I don't know if Saudi Arabia was buying kids from a 15 or 16-year-old. So, I don't know.
That's some crazy grammar for a 13-year-old. Everything I see says it doesn't match any genuine
She wasn't 13 when she wrote the letter.
Well, for everything I see here, it says it doesn't match any genuine court filing, sworn affidavit, or verified investigative exhibit in the Jeffrey Epstein cases or DOJ releases. That's what it says.
Yeah,
it's saying it's fabricated or unverified. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, well, this is one that's been flying around. And like I said, the years
easy
don't
to fly it
exactly
around,
match
you know
up.
what I'm saying? I know, that little credibility check down there, too, looks great. I get it.
Yeah, I definitely wanted to do the credibility check because, there's plenty of stuff there that is credible. Like, for example, Records show that the
Not that
FBI
letter.
marked, several of these files as POTUS, which stands for President of the United States. There's 15 or 16 Epstein-related records, and we still don't know what those are. All we know is because we looked at their spreadsheet tracking the flagged items that they flagged these because of POTUS. So it's pretty obvious here that they are not releasing Epstein files because Donald Trump is in them, and they've already released thousands of Trump files with Trump's name in them. So how bad do you think these 16 files are with Trump's name in them that they won't release them?
I mean, again, why would it never release in the first place while the Democrats were in power?
Who cares? I mean, there's a lot of reasons. For one, it was part of the whole QAnon conspiracy, and the Republicans were running on it at the time. For two, Ghislaine Maxwell's trial was going on, and after the trial, the appeal was going on, and they didn't release the stuff from New York until her appeal ended during Trump's term. So there's a lot of reasons.
Okay. So at the end of the day, this all comes out public. Trump's the only one going to jail?
No, lots and lots of people should be going to jail. Bill Clinton can go to jail. Where nobody is trying to protect any pedophiles except for people on the right.
Well, not this guy on the right.
Well, I mean,
I told you
I don't
since day
think you
one.
believe that Trump is a pedophile, and I think it's super obvious at this point.
I believe you're innocent until proven guilty, and I believe release the fucking Epstein files. So if you want to prove your innocence, release the Epstein files.
Who is blocking the Epstein files from being released?
Tons of people, I'm sure. Because as much power as Trump supposedly has,
maybe.
he can't ever get shit done outside of the border.
I think he gets everything he wants done. Shout out to Jay Brownlee. It's just got a Moto Mitchie
How
eyes
many orders were
airdrop.
just shot down against immigration and all this other bullshit? I'm sure we're gonna get to that too. But like, I mean, a lot of this stuff gets shut down, man. Listen, I don't expect everything to go through because not everything should go through. That's the point of a democracy.
I don't understand how you got a Moto Michi eyes airdrop. For what? What'd you do to get that? I got the Moto Michi drop. I'm still waiting for my one of one. Is actually one of them's in the mail and the other one's about to be opened up in my MetaMask. I didn't know they did airdrop. Shout out to Kryptonies in the chat. Says you have to be really licking on the grapes to think he's not guilty. The man is guilty of stuff he's not even charged with. A whole racist piece of triggity. Grandma
I
Moore
hear that
says-
from a lot of people with no proof. They always got no proof. They're like, oh, because he said, grab him by the pussy. Yeah, listen, any fucking guy that grew up in the 80s, 90s, even
So
early
what is your
2000s,
explanation for what I'm showing? Like right here, there were 16 files. They
Why'd
were
they release them?
flagged because of POTUS, and we don't know what they are. Why did they flag
Yeah,
them?
who flagged them? I want to know who flagged
The
them.
FBI,
Who in the FBI?
a Trump guy. Grandma Moore says, I think it's more about the money people instead of Trump. They can't keep the ring going. It's definitely about the money people, but they're making Trump one of the money people, and now he's a billionaire.
He is one of the money people.
He is,
I mean,
crazy.
even though I saw some claim that he's like, he lost money this term. I don't know if I believe that.
He's made over $3 billion in the last year and a half. $3 billion.
Listen, did I tell you I agreed with it? I'm just telling you, I saw some shit where they're trying to say that he lost money, and I'm like,
Doesn't
really seem like it to me.
When I was watching The Good Liars in Long Island at the MAGA rally, and they asked him about it, all the MAGA people were like, "He's a businessman. He's supposed to make money. He's a businessman." But God dang
he's
it,
supposed to
if
have companies,
Hunter
he's supposed to go
Biden sells a
bankrupt.
painting for
Yeah.
$500, they think he should go to prison for the rest of his life. It's wild. Crazy Dan 420 says, "Are we going to see a Gary V Johnny Dub collab?" Did you? You probably don't watch Twitter that much, but Gary V tweeted out to Johnny Dunn just unprompted. He didn't reply or anything. Gary V did his own tweet and was like, "Shout out to Johnny Dunn for your awesome collection." That was pretty dope.
Wait, what happened?
Gary V tweeted out.
Mhm.
It was just a couple days ago. Tweeted out, "Shout out to Johnny Dunn for his awesome collection," and tagged Johnny Dunn in it.
Oh, the dude. I'm thinking, what the hell's the fucking cartoon character? Johnny something?
Johnny Bravo.
Yeah.
Pretty much same guy. Same guy. One's animated.
My
one's
bad.
not.
My
Drake
bad.
Brown Lee says, "I think for holding the eyes." I didn't know there was. So you had hinted about it but didn't specify. Wow, nice. Congratulations. Yeah, I didn't hold on to mine. Kurtani says Republicans have everything they asked for. Think about it. They got every branch of government in their pockets. They want it all. Why are they still mad? About what? They know that they're about to get their butts kicked in the midterms. So they're doing everything they can right now to scare everybody and to make as few people as possible be able to vote. We talked about last week how they're going to have, now they're saying they're going to have ICE agents at polling locations. Big Time Big A says Trump brags about grabbing the thingy. Women claimed he grabbed them by the thingy. So where's
Yeah,
the
they claimed.
I mean,
Okay, so we're gonna say that we're gonna hold Kobe Bryant to the same standard because guess what? If anything happened to him, We're gonna hold Nelly. We're gonna hold.
Well, no. There's a difference there. Kobe Bryant was charged and he was acquitted. Donald Trump was charged and he was found guilty and he paid $5 million. Do you see the difference?
And Kobe paid no money.
I thought he was found guilty. Did they settle? I thought he was found innocent. I don't remember. It was a long time ago. Shout out to Kobe Bryant, R.I.P. Kryptonian says, MAGA is the angriest group of people ever. I'm pretty angry. Grandma Moore says, kind of weird that Hayden, I forgot to mention her, Hayden Panettiere gone after a couple of months. Her memoir is released where she discusses, sexual assault situations that she dealt with whenever she was a kid actor. If you don't know who Hayden Panettiere was, she was the cheerleader in one of my number one favorite TV series of all time, Heroes, the best series of all time. She was the cheerleader. She passed away just a couple of days ago. Out of nowhere, I haven't heard a cause of death yet, but she had just returned from Los Angeles 2 days prior. So, like Grandma Moore said, she had just released a memoir talking about some sexual assault that she faced while she was a kid actor. So,
yep. Well, you got to name the names, dude. If you're gonna like hint around, don't beat around the bush. Just name the fucking names, because look what happens. The end result might have been the same regardless, but people would have been aware, you know.
Yeah.
But
that's true.
by the way,
didn't name names.
Kobe did actually pay out a financial settlement. They said it exceeded $2.5 million, but the actual amount was unknown. But yes, everybody's,
I thought that girl had like 5 different dudes inside of her. Like, let's not revisit it, but I thought he was found innocent. I don't remember. All right, let's get into some other stuff. Shout out to my homie, Senator Bernie Sanders, who points out that life expectancy in a place like Loudoun County, Virginia, is 84 years. It's one of the highest earning counties in the U.S., but at a place like McCall County, West Virginia, one of the lowest earning counties in the U.S., it's only 65 years. Look how much of a difference it makes to where you're living. Like, these people who are on the upper echelons who are getting all the benefits right now from this Trump administration, that not only are they living better lives because they got more money, they're living longer lives. Like, it's literally costing years, decades, 19 years, 18 and a half years, decades off of our lives from the wealth inequality we're dealing with right now. What do you think, Mo? Me and Bernie crazy?
I mean, I'll take your word for it. I always said I was going to die by 40. I'm 44. I'm still here, so.
Okay. Kryptoni says, oh, my bad. Let me get this out of the way. F Donald Trump, worst thing that happened to America, took us back in race relations 50 years. Yeah, I saw somebody on Twitter said the worst president ever was Donald Trump, the second worst ever was Donald Trump, and the third worst was Ronald Reagan. I said, no, you're wrong. Close, though. First worst ever is Donald Trump's second term, which we're living in right now. Second worst ever, Ronald Reagan. Third worst, first Donald Trump turn. So she was so close. Big A says, Moist Critical did a video.
People that don't like Trump right now is fucking Muslims. That's it.
And we're going to talk about that, too, if we get to it. Big A is talking about Moist Critical's video that he did on Gary Vee and his V Friends project. His video and the comments are perfect examples of where public opinions are currently on NFTs. Yeah, I tweeted about this. I posted about it in my Discord. I watched the video myself. I mean, basically, Moist Critical, who's known also as Penguin Z0 on YouTube, one of the biggest commenters, creators out there right now, pretty much just dogging completely on Gary Vee, which is wild. I don't understand why. It's like he's pretty much just saying everything Gary Vee does is a scam. All these NFTs are a scam. Anybody still buying NFTs right now are crazy. I don't know. I think it's crazy that he's all right with all these big companies and corporations making their own trading card games and making it big with them. But if one single guy wants to make his trading card game, suddenly he's scamming people. Like, okay, so the big companies aren't scamming people with their little trading card games, but Gary Vee is somehow. Crazy Dan 420 says, I agree Trump has turned into a total asshole and liar. I agree with that. Grandma Moore says, we must be doing good in Indiana. Step grandma died this week at age 93. Hubby's aunt died this week at age... Now, why is everybody dying, though? Is COVID going around again? But no, yeah, they both lived into their 90s. I had a great grandma.
Yeah, look at the ages. I mean, that's pretty good. We'd all sign up for that, I think,
Absolutely. Well, I don't know. I don't like the idea of being super old. Kutoni says, yeah, because they get better medical, better air quality, no crime, and they don't live in a food desert. That's the point. We gotta even it out, man. Kryptoni says, I'm not Muslim, and I think he's a slime ball. Who? You're not, was it Muslim?
I mean, I do too, Tony, but for completely different reasons than you do.
Well, the reason why we've been talking about Muslims in America a lot this week is because last week I found out that Mo believes that every Muslim in the world hates America and wants to undermine or destroy it. He says it's part of their religion, which I don't understand that, because didn't the religions begin before America even existed, before the West even existed? So how is the Muslim religion the religion of Islam? The whole point is to take over America.
Okay, so first of all, have you read the Bible? Do you believe in God? I don't even know if we talked about this.
Oh yeah, I'm an agnostic theist, which means that I believe that a higher power exists, but I don't know what it is, and I don't think anybody else does either. I'm not atheist.
Gotcha. Okay, that's fine.
But I did.
So,
I was raised Baptist Christian. I went to church camp for like 7 or 8 years every summer, so I know a little bit about the Bible.
Okay, I wasn't gonna sit here and quiz you on it. I was just curious what angle you would, come at it from. So,
okay.
Anyway, so the idea is that Islam, which, again, I've been reading the Old Testament, the New Testament. I was like, well, I might as well go read the Torah. And I was like, well, shit. While I'm at it, let me just keep diving in, right? So here we are. I was at the Quran. I went through pretty much the full Quran and the Hadith.
You read all these books in a week?
Read along while watching. So I watch YouTube on 2x speed. I can read and absorb information at 900 words per minute. No joke. So anyway, Islam was basically founded on the Quran, which says, and there's actually a passage that's, is anybody in here? I just don't want to offend anybody if they are. Because I am not the talking point for the Quran. But if nobody in here is going to get offended, I can give you, a good an idea of what the hell they're talking about. Because I know people take it serious, and like I said, whether or not I believe it.
This place is called the Commie and The Hog. I mean, if you ain't offended, then you're in the wrong place. We're here to offend people. Go ahead.
All right. So the idea is that the Quran is an extension of the Old Testament or the Torah, right?
Well, I don't know about the Torah. The Torah is a whole different thing, ain't it?
No, listen. It's
the
Quran
is an extension of the Old Testament and the New Testament. Then the Quran's the third book. I don't know whether I thought the Torah was a whole different thing.
It is not the third book. It is a book that confirms and fixes anything that was in the Old Testament or the Torah. And again, it references the Torah in the actual Quran. Okay. In 1092. I can actually pull it up here.
Is that a year?
No, sorry, chapter verse.
Oh.
It's important. Like I said, it says. Shit. So I didn't really want to do this. Okay, here it is. If you are in doubt about what we revealed to you, ask those who read the scripture before you. The truth has come to you from your Lord, so do not be of those who doubt. Okay?
All
so
right.
what they're saying here in the Quran is to go and look at the previous scripture before it, okay? Which again is the Old Testament and the Torah. And from there, that's where things get different. Because the Bible and Christianity believe, not all sects, but believes that Jesus is, the Holy Trinity, the Father, the Son, the Holy Ghost, right?
Yeah.
Whereas Islam, they believe that Jesus was nothing more than a messenger.
Well, they believe that he was a prophet.
Well, yes, a messenger and a prophet, but he was the Messiah. All right, they called him the Messiah multiple times in there.
Okay.
But he was not the God that he is in the Christian Bible.
Okay.
Right? Okay, so this is where things get kind of funny because, again, I didn't know shit about the Quran. Anything I read about the Christian Bible was when I was 13.
You probably watched some YouTube video that is like very anti-Muslim, didn't you?
No, I actually read the actual Quran.
Okay.
I read the full Quran from a sheikh. Okay, I actually sat there. No, listen, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this right. Because, again, I am not going to discount something without actually giving it 100%. Anybody that knows me, and I feel like you should know this about me by now, is that a lot of things that we talk about, it's like, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Fucking men and women's basketball, shit should never happen, right? Stupid. But anyway, shit like this, if I'm like, well, if I'm going to look around and be like, oh, well, Islam is such a threat to America and Western democracy, and if I want to talk about it, I guess I have to know, right? So, yeah, I did. So I read the Quran, the Hadith, and what I found was pretty interesting, because I didn't know it at the time, but apparently it's called the Islamic Dilemma.
Okay.
Where it basically says, okay, that just don't want to get this wrong. Because if I lie to you on something here with this really Bible stuff,
careful.
Well, I'm not worried about catching me, but then everything else falls apart, right? So.
Right.
Okay. Okay. So, the idea is that if the Quran is true, where it says refer to your earlier scriptures, right, the Old Testament.
Okay.
It's telling them in the Quran to refer to previous scriptures that we know, again.
If it was the Old Testament, they didn't. Why did they point it out? They just say previous scriptures. I feel like if they were talking about the Old Testament, they said refer to the Old Testament.
They do. Well, they do reference it, but they talk about the gospel of Jesus.
Okay.
But again, the gospel of Jesus, because
is the New Testament.
Here, well, exactly, New Testament. I'm saying Old Testament, my bad. So again, that's stupid shit. The New Testament, right? Because they don't believe in the Old Testament, just kind of like we talked about with the founding fathers, right? They don't believe in a lot of that because that's a lot of the mythical, the magic, right? Like that's why they consider themselves as deities or whatever, deities. So in that regard, yeah, I read through the Old Testament going like, wow, this is some crazy, crazy stuff. Where's the proof, right? I'm looking at it like a detective. I'm like, where's the proof?
Right.
There is none. We have the scripture. You have the original ancient Hebrew Bibles, right? You have the ancient texts that were in Aramaic, and then you have like they sent it out originally. The final scribe was done in like Greek. It's called like a sepulture or something like that. Again, don't hang me on this, guys, with the religion. But anyway, this is how it went down. So the idea was, okay, refer back to your known books. But it also says that it's going to correct anything that's wrong from the New Testament, from the gospel of Jesus.
Okay.
So you can't really have both. Because the entire dilemma really is at its core is that the Quran confirms the previous scripture while at the same time disagrees with what is in the previous scripture. Right? I'm saying it contradicts itself in the actual book. And this is what they're telling you to follow as your daily life.
Yeah, that makes sense. I see what you're saying. You're saying that it's based on the New Testament, but in it says that it is revising the New Testament. So how can it be based on something that it's revising? I'm sure there's Muslim scholars who have been presented this argument before. Did you look up what their counter argument is?
I did. I'll get to it. But the full idea of this, and this is where the conundrum comes in, and I've watched so many, Islam, Christianity debates even over the past 2 days, where they get to this and they have to just talk their way out of it to something else and try to just pin it on something else. And they pray that whoever they're debating about this isn't equipped, right? And some of these people are very well equipped with everything from like codexes and lexicons and like they're pulling them freaking Arabic. Like, because again, this is 2026, right? And I'm sorry if I'm boring people in chat, but I don't want to talk about this right now. This is 2026, okay? This is not 50 years ago where we can just pull up Arabic as Americans and see what the hell they're saying. True. It's very easy for us to do. Back in the day, they didn't really have that. And that's why you have a lot of these discrepancies and updated Bibles where they go, well, this was added and this was changed and blah, 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 right? So what the Quran says is that the Quran confirms the previous scripture while at the same time it disagrees with what is in the previous scripture. So therefore, if the previous scriptures are true, then the Quran is false for contradicting. If the previous scriptures are corrupted or manipulated as they claim, then the Quran is false for confirming corrupted books in the first place. Make it make sense.
They're saying whenever they're confirming, and this is what my argument would be, they're confirming that the New Testament is the work of Jesus and it is the true story, but they're saying there are some discrepancies in here we want to fix that we don't think is true. They're not saying that the whole thing is not true and they're going to fix the whole thing. They're saying...
But again, in that 1094 verse, they talk about it where they tell them, Allah says, this is true. You know what I'm saying? This is the word of Allah, and you don't go against your God in that religion. You just don't.
Yeah,
it's not
if he's
good
saying
for you.
it's the word of God or the word of Allah,
right. So you understand where I'm coming from a little bit?
Revise it. I see what you're saying.
Okay. So the idea then is that if the previous scriptures are corrupt, then the Quran is false for confirming corrupted books, because therefore you get stuck in like the loop where it can't make sense. Now again, let's go a little bit further with this, okay? Just real quick, I don't spend all the time. But look at Prophet Muhammad, okay? I'm not going to call him a false prophet, even though I definitely think he is. But I'll just say Prophet Muhammad, okay? Look at the teachings of Jesus, right? The gospel. And again, I'm not asking you whether you agree with it, but it was written down as gospel from Peter, Paul, John, you know what I'm saying? And the fact that I'm actually pulling these names without even looking at any of my notes, this goes to tell, I know you can't see my camera, but I'm not lying to you. I have been doing my homework on this, and I've been trying to learn. And what I did learn, because you mentioned being an agnostic, and I've always considered myself an atheist or an agnostic, but what I learned in 10 seconds was that the fact that I have a heavy moral compass of good and evil automatically rules out the fact that I can ever really consider myself an atheist or an agnostic person, because I've already submitted to what God has said of good and evil. So I'm not going to tell you that's the way you should think, but I'm just saying that's the way it hit me, and it actually instantly changed my thought on that. And you know I'm pretty hard-headed, you know what I'm saying? I will change my mind, but it needs to make sense, and that really made sense to me. Because I can't walk around saying I have moral compasses and I know good from evil, but then where the hell do I know good from evil from? Right? Like, there has to be some core there. What I think lost me was the Catholic Church. I grew up in a Catholic church, not a heavy Christian. So we got into the saints, and we got into some of the corruption. You know what I mean? Like, when you start to go down that avenue, you lose me, okay? But at the core, let's get back to the core of the Quran and the New Testament. Do you understand what I'm saying, though, of how they, like, talk themselves
Yeah, what was
into
the
this
counter argument?
So the counter argument, and this is even kind of wilder if you break it down. The counter argument is that, well, if you go back to the Song of Solomon 6, oh my God, I just actually pulled that. I'm pretty sure that's right. The Song of Solomon, it's definitely the Song of Solomon. But in the Song of Solomon, they always, and again, they're pulling from the New Testament, the Song of Solomon, which is a collection of joyous songs, by the way, okay? Keep that in mind.
Okay.
It's not anything about prophets, there's no prophecies in them. This is a collection of love songs, poems, and music. Anyway, in there, the Muslims will go in and say, no. It says Muhadim, and it adds like an I am at the end. Like Elohim, if you've ever seen Elohim, right? It's like a pluralization of God, even though you can't really do that. They claim, based on the Arab translation, that, well, no, because it takes this letter, you take that, you move this there, and then you put the I am at the end, and that's where you get Muhammad. Again, it doesn't actually make sense, because when you break it down, and this is what people do to the Muslims, they say, okay, now go back to this part of the song, in the Song of Solomon, and replace that word with Muhammad. It makes no sense. You understand what I'm saying? Because the Bible, the context is key. If you pick one line out of a Bible and read it, you're going to be lost. You have to know, and you know this too because you do a lot of research on stuff, context is everything. Sometimes it's timing, sometimes it's words, you know what I mean? Like, there are things in the context in the Bible, and even the Quran to a certain extent. If I just pick one random thing out of the Quran, yeah, I could probably prove my point. But in the verse prior, they would have qualified it to be something else. And as soon as they qualify it to be something else, my argument goes out the window, because they don't change perspective of the way they talk. You understand what I'm saying?
I guess, yeah. I mean, I'm done. You lost me. I done gave up on it. I don't know.
Okay,
I don't believe the Bible or the Quran, so all of it's just.
I don't want to believe either. But here's what you have to understand, is that the agenda that's getting pushed right now is a false narrative. Because the false narrative, I know you say, like, oh, you're gonna pull this up, right? Yeah, okay. So 92%, and I looked into the study, 92% say they're proud to be an American.
Yep.
Well, guess what? In the Taiki or whatever it is, if they feel like they're under duress based on their religion, they can lie. Scot-free to Allah, they can lie.
So you think you think all Muslims are fundamentalists?
No, not all. Not all. But here's the thing. This number that you're showing me here, did you actually look at the study?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So on that study, it actually shows what I thought was pretty funny, because it shows 92% say that they're, proud to be an American. And what does it say of how they feel safe about being in America?
About being safe?
Yeah.
They probably don't feel very safe.
No, I'm asking you from the study itself.
I don't know.
Yeah. Or how they feel about the state of America and the direction it's heading.
No, I don't. I didn't look at it. I just put up this one stat.
They hate it. They hate everything about America. But yet, when you ask them a question that they could be persecuted on,
do you got any proof of
right?
that?
I was like, well, yeah, it's in their religion.
Well, I mean, okay, so what about Dr. Oz? He is a member of Donald Trump's administration. I think he heads Health and Human Services, and he's also a Muslim. Do you think he hates America and he's trying to undermine it?
No, because again, it's not all. I might have overspoke when I said all, because it's definitely not all. Anytime you say all of anything, it's not a good look. I gotta learn that too. It's not all, okay? Definitely not all. But let's go with the idea that it's not all, because this study right here is from 2017, and if you actually adjust it to 2025 on some like IAU or some studies or some other studies they do yearly, this is like every 5 years. If you look at those studies, they show it's actually dropped to like 61%. So,
Thanks to Trump, probably, yeah. I wouldn't blame him.
Whatever. So let's say 61% compared to your 92%. I'm like, all right, even if we were to go somewhere around, let's say 80%, right? Let's say 20% of the people are like, all right, I'm not really cool about, about America, right?
Right.
We'd be okay with that?
Yeah.
So this is 2017. Now, right before this, there was actually a lady named Bridget Gabriel, and she did this public hearing or whatever, and the Muslim girl asked her a question about why they're not doing more to help Muslims or whatever, and she actually busted out some crazy stuff. So, again, you want to say it's not all of them, and you know what? I agree. But there's 2 billion Muslims in the world. So if we go by the metric that we just agreed on, let's say 20% are the extreme, that leaves 400 million people dedicated to the destruction of Western civilization.
There's not two. This percent is for Muslims in America, not Muslims around the world. That's a whole different number.
No, because this is a global invasion, and the numbers are always global. Well, dude, it is. Well, it's happening. It's happening in the UK. It's not just happening here. But again, this is something that needs to be addressed. So if you take that, it's 400 million people, Muslims, that are dedicated to destruction of Western civilization, aka us. Okay, that's more people that are in the United States. So why should we worry about the radical? Because the radicals are the ones that kill, not the moderate people that you like.
Think about it rationally, man. You're talking about Muslims that are up in the Middle East. You're talking about Muslims that are down in Africa.
Am using the
Can I speak for a second, please?
Go ahead. But I'm using the number we agreed upon.
You're talking about Muslims that are in the Middle East, Muslims that are down in Africa, Muslims all around this world. Almost all of them that are like dirt poor, and you think that their whole goal in life is to destroy America? They're just trying to fucking eat, bro. What are you talking about?
They could be in the 80%. But again, the 20% of 2 billion Muslims in this world equates to 400 million people.
You're using a percent based on they're proud to be American. That has nothing to do with they want to destroy America because they're not proud to be American. I mean, you're talking about people around the world, like I said.
No.
To do with America.
This is who.
I don't understand your logic.
This is the percentage of Muslims that are deemed, and again, there are groups that do studies on this. Again, you can look it up.
Pull up a study.
Bridget Gabriel, look it up.
All right.
It's probably been trending. I told you, it's from like 2016. I think the video was from.
So
but your study is from 2017, so same concept. So, and what she talks about again is that the peaceful majority are irrelevant, because no matter where you look in history, it's always the same freaking lesson, dude. Most of the Germans were peaceful, but the Nazis drove the agenda, and as a result, we got the Holocaust. So again, the peaceful majority were irrelevant. So yes, the 80% might not be the problem, but the 20%, even though the minority, are typically the loudest. And if you look at some of these, things that are going on in the United States, it's kind of crazy.
Bridget Gabriel's claim that 15 to 25% of the world's Muslims are radical. If so, it was not the conclusion of a study conducted by Gabriel. During a 2014 Heritage Foundation event, she said radicals were estimated at 15 to 25%, potentially representing 180 to 300 million people using your math. But she did not identify a credible survey
I also said 2 billion
methodology.
Muslims, which is the current number. So
they're just
today.
They're just referring to something that she said during a 2014 Heritage Foundation event that was over 12 years ago and was not backed up by any credible survey, methodology, or scholarly source establishing that figure. Because how could you establish something like that?
You could watch the video, because there's actually groups that do this. The same people that are talking to your study group, or your survey, those are the people that they're talking to. And if they know that they've come to an agreement that like 15 to 25%, Watch some videos on it.
Let me know what you think in the chat. Let me know what y'all think in the chat. All right, let's move on to the next topic in politics, which was this huge debate. They even called it the Great Debate with Candace Owens and Andrew Wilson. And the debate was over the Charlie Kirk assassination and whether or not, what's the dude's name? Tyler Robinson? Whether or not Tyler Robinson was guilty or was he the patsy? And they got Candace Owens on the left there. She believes that this is a big conspiracy that was cooked up by Israel and France. And of course, Andrew Wilson believes that Tyler Robinson was a lone shooter. So for the debate itself, a lot of people had different opinions. You could tell by a polls like this that who won the debate would kind of depend on who you like more. It was almost like a popularity contest, and then Candace is more popular than Andrew Wilson, so of course she's going to win the popularity contest. So a lot of people said that she won. There was a big clip going around where he asks her to name the 7 charges that Tyler Robinson is being charged with, and in response she said, "Can you name one?" And he couldn't even name one. He named murder, which was really aggravated murder, which I think that was close enough. However, he sat there the whole entire time during that question acting like, come on, hurry up. You don't know the answer. You're stalling because you don't know. And of course, she watches like the trial 9 hours per day. So she knew all the charges and was right about all of them, made him look bad there. However, I would thought personally, overall, that he won the debate because everything that she claimed that he was trying to ask her to back up, she had no proof for it whatsoever. A lot of this stuff was based on an anonymous source. And it's kind of crazy how she like blends in France with her conspiracy theory just because she has some beef going on right now with Macron's wife, the president of France. So, Mo, I know you watched it too. What did you think about it?
I was kind of freaking bored, man. I mean, I kind of liked them both, but I was like, well, what the hell are we doing here? Because like you said, like she's gonna name anonymous sources. He's gonna try to be like, well, if you don't give me the source, then I can't do anything. I will say that, yeah, I feel like I'm with you. I think he had most of the better positions on the debate.
Yeah, I don't think she backed up anything. Grandma Moore's a big Candace Owens fan, thinks that he didn't back up in anything, which he really didn't back up anything either, but he didn't really make any claims. His claim was kind of like a counterclaim. He was like saying that your claims are wrong. His claim though, like overall, I won't say definitely, but I don't really think Tyler Robinson did it all by himself. I think Israel is involved. I just don't think that she had good arguments because I think one of the things she should have brought up was the fact that Charlie Kirk's people, his like #1 dude, was a second he got shot, he got on his phone and walked away slowly. Like, what's that all about?
And it makes you wonder. And I mean, you know, Grandma just said it, like she didn't want to play into his game, right? Because there's nothing more annoying than watching a conversation, because me and you don't do it, but like trying to trap people and walk them in and play the game of being like, okay, this is the part where you ask me this, and then I ask you this, and then you walk into that, and I get a gotcha moment, right? It's not really about that. But I feel like she didn't want to play any game, like no meta game with the debate, which kind of made it boring to me. But she cooked them on, you know, what is the actual charges? And I was like,
she cooked them pretty bad on that.
I'm like, shit, yeah, like I just got done telling you, bro, like if I'm gonna sit here and try to talk about, you know, Islam, I'm gonna read the Quran, I'm gonna read this stuff, and I'm gonna educate myself before I open my mouth. But I'm gonna read more. But anyway, when it comes to this, yeah, I don't think, again, with anonymous sources and trust me, bro, like watching chat is always my favorite. I always watch the chat. It's like anytime she says something, I'm like, oh, here comes the trust me bros.
So what? But let me know overall though on Tyler Robinson. Do you think he's a lone shooter, or do you think something else is involved?
I feel like I have seen way too many AI videos in my life. I feel like I'm tainted. Like it's not
hard to believe anything now.
Yeah, it's just like, man, unless you sit me down in that courtroom, let me be the one, and I wouldn't probably believe it. I still wouldn't trust it. If I was the one to go into the DVR and take out the film, I'd be like, oh, somebody was here before me, and you know.
Right.
Because I just don't know. You know what I mean?
That sucks that we're entering into an age where we can't trust our own eyes anymore.
Well, I think that's why, as you see the rise in AI, what else do we see on the rise? The flock camps. You know what I mean?
Yes.
You know, listen, Tony, I know you don't agree with me, brother, but I do try to come off, whether or not you guys agree, that I at least put a little bit of thought and, you know, back check into what I do. That's it.
Yeah, I like the fact that you research stuff so well. Grandma Morris says he is a
I don't know if you're
patsy,
being sarcastic there.
but who set him up and why is Charlie alive? Charlie Kirk is definitely not alive. I don't see any way he could have escaped through some trapdoor. I think that's some wildness that people believe that. However, I do think he got set up. Like, what about the dude that was in front of the crowd whenever he got shot and then pulled down his pants and claimed that he did it and then disappeared because they claimed that he had child porn on his phone, so now nobody can interview him or talk to him. It's like there's so much weird stuff with this whole case.
Yeah, and what is that? That's the old smoke and mirrors, bro.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
There was another person on campus that day that had a gun.
Yeah.
It's
And
crazy.
looking at the
It was a
videos,
fake
right?
gun. Sorry.
Part of me again. I still haven't seen the video of Charlie Kirk getting shot. Still haven't seen it.
Lucky you.
But-
Where's Big A at? He made me watch it. He sent it to me in DM and I had no idea what was going on. I thought it was fake.
I haven't seen it, and I can't watch stuff like that. When I was younger, my boys watched, was it Traces of Death or Faces of Death?
Faces of Death. Yeah, I watched that when I was, well, I'd say
And I
teenager.
I should have known what it was.
Yeah, it was bad.
But I was super young still. It was like older brother of somebody had it. They left it on the VCR. Oh, it's put it in. And I saw some shit that just scarred me. You know what I mean? But I didn't see the Charlie Kirk video. But what I will say is that I have a little bit of a twist in my stomach, a little knot in my stomach when I started being like, well, dude died. Like, there were young people there that watched this guy, bleed out. They're, his wife, lost her husband, right?
They got
Kid
two young
lost their
kids,
dad. Like,
yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Like, for me, it's hard to sit there and be like, I feel like it was easier with OJ back in the day. You know what I'm saying? You didn't have like all that collateral damage behind it.
Right.
It's like, oh, if the glove don't fit, it must have quit, stupid shit like that. But I don't know, man. But I will say that some of these videos, like the video with the leg and coming up, and I'll go to like the text message, right? The text message that apparently he sent his boyfriend or whatever.
And now they're saying he's not that, the boyfriend's not even trans.
Well, they're gay, aren't they?
I don't know, man. I don't know anymore. Cryptoni says, I agree with you on some issues. I'm not really driven by religion or party affiliation. I'm purely moral. Because at one point, slavery was legal. Was it right? No, but it was legal. That's
Yeah, and I
true.
would 100% agree with that.
So judging with the moral eye is better to me. All right, let's get into ice because I've had ice up here for like 4 weeks now, so I've just been adding to it. So I've got like several different things. This actually happened a few weeks ago. I'm going to start off with, it's a video. I don't even remember if I can remember. I think it was in Dallas, the Dallas airport. These two dudes claim to be ICE just tackling people. And then when people come up to like say what's going on, they just run off and don't even take the dude with them. Watch.
Whoa, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on?
They do it there. I got to think they go.
What's going on?
I don't know what they doing.
What's going on?
I don't talk to them.
It's law enforcement. What's going on?
No
Stop right
identification.
there. What's going on?
No badge.
Are you okay?
What are they doing?
Are you okay?
Everyone back up.
Come on.
They just get up and walk away.
Come on. Come on.
Oh, my
Who are they? Hey.
All right, so this is just one of many things that's been going on with ICE lately. ICE is still on the loose, just causing chaos. I think there was a protester.
Don't be here illegally. I know. Change the law.
How do you, was that guy here illegal? The guy that they just tackled?
I actually don't know.
They don't know either. That's the thing. That's the problem. That's the problem. They don't know either.
That's
They're just
why
tackling people that ain't white.
If you just stop, give them ID, they go on your way. If not, you turn.
They don't
into
even have
Rudy.
a badge. They don't have a. How do I believe you? How do I know? Maybe he's trying to steal my wallet, and I pull out my wallet to show my ID, takes it and runs off. I mean, I don't know this person. You got to identify yourself. That's like part of the Constitution that law enforcement is supposed to identify themselves. That's why you got all these YouTubers that have these Second Amendment audit channels, and every time a cop comes up to her, they're like, badge, name and badge number. Like that's part of the law, but Trump's people, his Gestapo, his Proud Boys, these dudes that have like no training whatsoever. Half of them flunked out of high school and couldn't try to be cops and couldn't because they were too dumb to pass the test. And now they're just going around with no camera, no body cameras, no accountability. It's wild, dude. It's like its own private army.
Pretty sure Big A is being sarcastic. They says just present your paper. It's that simple. Exactly. Give him your ID. Give
That's
him
what the Nazis said, bro. He's making fun of you. He's saying that's what the Nazis used to say.
An ID, bro. You know how many times I'm a white guy, get pulled over by a black cop, a freaking Spanish cop. I don't give a shit. I know that if I get pulled over or the authority stops me to say, okay, here's my ID. Why don't I care? Because I have nothing to hide.
Because you're
I
a
have
white
no
guy.
warrants.
You're fine.
Regardless, I have nothing to hide.
All right, so this was the dude that shot and killed. I don't know if this guy was illegal or not. He might have been, but they showed that the person that shot and killed him, the ICE officer, he was identified, and they're like, "Why was this dude an ICE officer? He has a history of violent behavior. He has psychiatric issues. His ex-wife is like, why would y'all ever give this dude a gun?" And they're just hiring anybody. I have a friend, like kind of an acquaintance or whatever on Facebook that's a little bit crazy or something, and I just saw him post that he just got hired by ICE the other day. I'm like, what the hell's going on, man? They're just hiring anybody.
How much they paying?
Crazy Dan says, somehow Israel and the Zionists have Trump by the balls and the whole world is paying the price. I saw a CIA agent who said that Israel has like pictures and dirt on every single congressman now. Like, that's how they get in there. Just present your papers. Yeah, exactly. All right, so let me present this scenario to you, Mo. This is going to be my favorite hypothetical of all time, because we're going to imagine that I married Selma Hayek. All right, so let's say me and Selma Hayek hooked up, got married. We had 4 kids, but one of our kids came out looking a little bit more like her side of the family. Came out looking a little Mexican, you know what I'm saying, compared to the other 3. And now I got to worry that my own child is going to get tackled on the road, on the side of the road, for walking down the street because he's a little bit Mexican looking, by some freaking rednecks that have no accountability whatsoever. Is that not a problem? Would that not worry you?
You have nothing to worry about. You know why? Because by the time that kid is able to walk around by themselves, Trump and all these goons will be way gone.
Well, maybe,
so,
I mean, Selma's old. Me and Selma hooked up like 20 years ago. My kid's getting older now.
Oh, see, now we're changing to the already of age.
Well, I've thought about this scenario a lot, I'll be honest with you. I'm just kidding. Big A says...
So again, I would teach my kids, the same way my dad taught me, is to respect authority. The same reason why we're put into school as a kid, because that's the whole point of the system, is to, you know, get in line with authority.
You think that guy that they had tackled in the airport was not respecting authority?
I don't know, I have to see the beginning of the video. Again, we're going to look at the context, same way I was talking about with the Bible. I need to see the context. If you're going to go by a fucking 10-second clip, if it actually was a bad thing and it wound up like on cop, the badge cam,
yeah,
you go pull it up. A lot of times that shit's public access now. There's people that do fucking live. You should do live streams with that shit, like on a Friday night, dude. That'd be awesome.
That would be fun. All right, let me catch up with the chat so we can get to collectibles. I still got a couple things about ICE I want to talk about.
Real quick. Okay. You didn't cover my favorite part of the ICE.
I'm getting there. I promise. I've got more. Big A says, when I was... I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about.
Collectibles.
We're getting there. Big A says, when I was younger, I drove nice cars. You still drive nice cars. What do you mean when you was younger? You mean, so all his life he drove nice cars, and local police thought I was a dealer or something and will pull me over. Oh, okay. So I stopped being fully cooperative. Oh, really? The Americans, we don't like tyrants. Yeah, I hear you. Grandma Moore says, you should have to be legal to live here. Now we have this problem. It's there, not a way to reorganize or something. Isn't there a way to reorganize? Yeah, Reagan did it. It was called amnesty. The problem is not, I mean, we all agree with you. If you're not here legally, we're okay with deporting those people. Obama deported tons of people. Biden deported tons of people.
He was a deporter in chief. But he also reenacted the amnesty and unfortunately opened up the loopholes that Reagan had closed, like had to be working, had to have a certain criteria that Obama was just like, nah, fuck it. So yes, even though he did deport a lot of people, you got to give him that. Under with Tom Holman was running the show, he wasn't the main guy, but he was like one of the head guys. So, you know, Holman's always been doing it. But, just saying.
Shout out to Alejandro's in the chat. What's up, Alejandro?
Rob T I want the gloves. Can we get on to the gloves?
Rob T, you ain't said nothing the whole stream, and you're going to come in here and break my heart. Selma Hayek is married to French billionaire business. What's French billionaire businessman Francois Henry got that I ain't got? Does he got a weekly show with MoKnowz? I don't think he does. Big A says, when ICE was here a few months ago, the way they operated was they took a bunch of Spanish people over there. Let's get their papers.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they're probably like, all right, so you're good.
But what they're doing is you notice how you keep hearing over and over that people are getting picked up, scooped up, and deported at their immigration hearings. That means that those people that they're talking about are people who legally claimed asylum and are not illegal at all. I mean, okay, maybe you can say that their asylum claim has been denied and you can help them get back to their home or whatever, but you can't treat them like a criminal. They're literally doing what they're supposed to do. They're at court, and this happens.
But they're gonna help them. But they're just doing them a favor. Why waste the time of going into the court?
They're not just doing them a favor. They're putting them into some prison with like
I know, but then they're gonna deport them.
conditions.
And then they deport them. I know, but then they deport them. So instead of wasting.
But they're not a criminal, so you can't treat them like a criminal.
But they're illegal. They're illegal.
They're not illegal. That's what I just explained to you. They were picked
I mean, you
up.
want to base it on you want to base it on the amnesty, but without that amnesty, again, and an amnesty should not have been set up that way. We can.
But that's the law.
I know, like you say, you have to change the law.
Okay,
again,
yeah.
But Obama did it.
How do you not get this? Kryptonian says, I've traveled the world, not one country would have let me stay over 2 months or buy a house. I don't know about that. Rob T says, I listen quietly, I stay away from politics, but I hear you, bro. I was just kidding. Big A says, you shouldn't be under suspicion just because of your race. That's what I'm saying. That's the point I'm trying to prove. That was my Selma Hayek. Well, that's all right. We'll use that scenario again in the future,
But it depends on who you're talking to. If you talk to someone that grew up in a predominantly white area with like old grandparents that were from the South and they're super racist, yeah, they're probably gonna have a different answer than me, who grew up playing basketball with the brothers, you know what I'm saying, going into the hood to buy weed and get 40s of old English. You understand what I'm saying? Like,
okay.
This is we're two different types of people. So someone like me, again, also raised in a Catholic, household.
True.
My dad taught me, to turn the other cheek and to always be the better person. And I think I've told this story. We're outside playing basketball, me and my boys. There's this black kid walking by. His shirt was all torn up. There were like these lacerations on his back. My dad was out front, and my dad knew something was wrong. And again, we were nice kids, bro, to all colors, all walks of life. Didn't matter. Chucked him to basketball. He started taking some shots. He was like having fun. My dad's like, oh, I think something's wrong with this kid. Invited him in for dinner. Got to know him. Come to find out, he's been getting abused pretty much his whole life.
Dang.
And my dad, called CPS. We had the cops come. They, put him into the system. But without that, I mean, some people could say, oh, you shouldn't have got involved. But without that, I mean, who knows what the hell happened. But anyway, the point is, a lot of people would look at that like, oh, black kid, looks like he, wants to rob me or some shit. Now, we were like 8 years old, man. Like, I don't know. That's just how I was raised. So that's why I say, like, it depends on who you talk to.
Well, I'm just talking about ICE right now, and even whenever they have all these cases against people that they claim have attacked them or whatever, that's the reason that they got locked up, even though they were American citizens or not illegal. The courts are saying that they just keep giving them...
They're American citizens. They have ID. Show the ID, you leave. It's easy.
I've seen dozens of videos where they're like, let me give you my ID. My ID is right here. And they say, we don't care. We don't care.
I would love to see something that's not AI generated.
Oh, my
That has
God.
an actual American
Next
citizen.
week, I promise. I'll show you. Okay. Just showing some other things going on with ICE.
Yeah, no, I got you.
All right, but let me...
I'm waiting for my favorite one.
Here it is right here. Let's talk about these new gloves. Here we go. Hold up, you're muted. You're muted, bro, during the videos, remember?
Oh, my bad.
All right, yeah, so what did you say?
No, I forgot. No, I thought my microphone wasn't working.
He wants these. He likes them a lot. I don't know. I think they're a little bit suspicious. They're kind of scary. Are you sure we want to have these or already put them into schools?
I want to come to your house and we should do a live, like a wrestling stream with them.
I mean, I would. That for fun, yes. I'm not. I mean, they look fun, but I don't like the idea of ICE for sure not having them. Not even law enforcement. So imagine what they're going to do to protesters now. They were already pepper spraying protesters in New York the other day, and now they're going to have electric gloves that they're just going to grab people that they don't like.
No, people that shouldn't be there, creating a problem.
Protesters shouldn't be there?
The ones that are they don't get thrown out. They have their little peaceful protest area, but it's not peaceful. They don't stay in that area because they want to you give them an inch, you take a mile. So they move up, and then they get fucking out of line. And then, turns
yeah,
into
I like the whole thing of like, if you guys are going to protest, you need to do it way over there where we can't see you. Like, that defeats the whole point of a protest. I mean, protesting is part of our
the
freedom
ICE
of
facilities
speech.
was right across the street, bro. You had a perfect
right.
fucking view of the supposed abuse that was going on. But you can't be at the fucking driveway when people are trying to work. Again, just because these fucking people that are protesting don't have fucking jobs.
Some of them do go
lives.
too far, it's true. But I don't know if you should be grabbing them up with a handful of electricity.
Okay, so if we, let's say 2 weeks from now, we do this show, and you can find me ICE agents that are playing like illegal alien bowling or something, where they're running down the line or tapping people.
Oh, that's going to happen for sure.
We'll see.
There won't be video of it, though. It's going to happen inside the facilities.
No, these leftists will have it too. And I'm talking about outside I'm talking about. But if they're bum rushing the facility and they're like, oh, well, they're not going to shoot me now. They got these electrical gloves. They can't cry when they get hit by the electrical glove because it's going to hurt less than a rubber bullet. It's going to hurt less than a real bullet. It's going to hurt. You know what will hurt less than? that Sonic fucking audio thing they got that they can like direct. You know, that shit fuck you up. Remember what happened with Venezuela or whatever? Like, your fucking ears fucking start to bleed.
Covered under the
your
Second
brain
Amendment?
hemorrhage.
Can I go buy some?
It's a good question.
I think it's great. Let's move on to collectibles though. So yeah, those are coming soon to a town near you. So don't be wet. Imagine they shock somebody who's wet. You're in trouble. All right, I do got some packs to open it up, and I've noticed from.
Oh, real quick though, while you do this, have you ever been tased? Chad, have you ever been tased?
I've never been tased. I'm down.
That's kind of what I wanted to see these too, because I've never been.
I don't think I've ever been tased. I know I touched, and I did it on purpose because I'm a dumbass. I touched a fence that was electric once, and it was weird too because I didn't feel it in my finger where I touched it. I felt it in my elbow first.
Yep, exactly. That shit jumps through. Yep.
It's crazy. Kryptonic says there's no grace anymore. Absolutely no one cares about anything. It's because nobody has empathy anymore. I try to explain to people that empathy comes with. It's a part of evolution, and some people are just not evolved as much. Yes, empathy. Everything is empathy.
People recording, people getting beat up on fucking trains and
they don't
raped
have
on
empathy.
trains. They lack empathy?
They lack empathy?
No.
Yes, they do.
Those people lack common sense.
Well, that's true too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think that's the bigger fucking
I think
problem.
Einstein said intelligence is 90% empathy. Although I try to find that quote exactly. I don't know if that's exactly what it is, or maybe it was somebody else who said it. Daniel C says, I've been nailed with the cattle prod. Yeah, I bet that hurt like a mug. Like I said, I
No, that's what I was going to say. But I never got hit by the one that, like, detaches. But I got hit by, like, I guess it's like the little hand one that fucking hits you like a zapper.
Ooh.
And I didn't really go down right away. I'm a skinny guy. I feel like I took the first zap pretty good.
I'm down to get tased, honestly. I think it'd be a fun little experience. All right, let's do our baseball card of the week from my personal collection. We're going back to vintage baseball 1959. Oh, this one's got a green back. I didn't realize that. So, yeah, if this is a pretty famous card. Just imagine that all the green screen stuff is actually just green because all that is green. I didn't think about it. It's a baseball thrills card. It's signifying Willie Mays' famous over-the-shoulder catch. Everybody remembers that catch if you're into old-school baseball. And this card came out in 1959, showing that off before it became like, you know, a big famous catch that everybody talks about now. Not great condition. It's got some rough corners, but I like that one because I like Willie Mays. And that's an iconic card. I picked up 3 packs to open, and I've noticed in past replays that when I try to open my packs during the live stream, it's really loud and annoying. So I've already opened them, but I haven't looked at them yet. And I got some random ass shit. This one is Prism. I don't even know what year this is. It's got Mahomes on the cover. We're going to check it out, see if I get anything good. If I get anything worth showing you, I'm sure at least one card in there will be a hit or something. We've got somebody Adams from the Rams. This is like a little, it's a panorama view, a little bit different than the rest. I don't see no autographs. I don't see nothing numbered or any rookies. I was hoping to pull a Mahomes. All right, first pack, nothing numbered. That was Panini Prism. I had to get a shout out to Panini. I know we got a lot of Panini blockchain collectors in the chat. All right, this one's weird. Topps Chrome, Fantastic Four. I didn't even know this was a thing. I just grabbed a pack because he said it was hobby. Topps Chrome, Fantastic Four. Maybe I'll get the things. I want Jessica Alba's autograph. Is she in here? All right, let's see if I got anything. I got Rocket Raccoon. I'll show you the Rocket Raccoon real quick. It's just a base Rocket Raccoon. But it looks like I got something in here that's an insert. Ooh. All right, is this numbered?
Okay.
Let me see what I got. I don't know who this dude is. Dr. Adrian Zola. It's a refractor. You got a bow tie, a red bow tie on. This ain't no superhero. Who the hell is this? Dr. Adrian Boza. Oh, but this is dope. All right, and the last one is a hit. It's a refractor of the Black Panther. This might be something. Black Panther refractor. And then my last pack, Mo, I bet you know.
They better never race swap him.
What's that?
I said they better never race swap him.
True that. That would make no sense.
I think it would be funny as hell.
It could happen.
But
I wouldn't be surprised. All right, so this next pack of cards is a set that I like a lot. And even though, because I only collect vintage, this is like the only modern cards that I really, really like. Have you heard of Allen and Ginter?
I have, and you can actually get some really nice pulls on those.
They put some crazy stuff in here too. It's not all baseball. They'll have like, I don't know, they'll have bowlers in here and stuff. All right.
They have cards that you can like open like a stained glass.
Yes.
Where you basically like gamble on it whether or not you're gonna get a better card underneath.
Oh, now I was thinking about what we could do is I could send these off to get signed. This is Ethan somebody. I think he's an actor. It says old school on there. Is he an actor or something? I don't even know who that dude is. All right. Like I said, this has some weird stuff in it. This one is Matthew Boyd. Maybe that's a current player. I'm not sure who that guy is. I got a Chrome something coming up here in a second. This is Aurelio Martinez. Aurelio. All right, this one is my Chrome card. It's like super Chrome. It's a girl. Who we got here? Brittany Snow. Anybody know who Brittany Snow is? I don't know who she is. Is she an actress? Looks like an actress.
Anybody that's ever signed on porno knows about Brittany Snow.
Oh, wait, no, is that where she's from? All right, and I got a little baby card here. It's a bird. It's a little baby bird card.
Little baby bird?
What the hell? I like these Allen
Like a blue jay?
They always look good. I don't know what kind of. It looks like a finch to me.
Oh,
And
the
then,
state bird. What state? Not that I would know.
And I also got an Alex somebody card. So yeah, Allen and Ginter, really cool little set of cards. I think they were originally, these were like some stuff that came out like in the 1940s, and then they brought it back. So like Allen Ginter's actually, they put out maybe even before that tobacco cards and stuff. So all right, that's my card of the week.
So,
that's my packs.
Oh yeah. So Friday, there is I didn't send you the info. I forgot. The NFL top. I think we talked about it last week. Topps NFL comes out Friday.
Oh, Topps NFL comes out this Friday. Yeah, we did talk about that last week. I think I even.
So if you're out and about,
yeah.
I know I told you about those last Chromes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you're out and about, you may want to grab a box because, honestly, Mendoza, some of these rookies. Again, it's tougher with baseball just because with football because they haven't played yet. Whereas baseball is like, oh, they played half a season already. You know they can kind of hit or not. This is like, we don't know what they're gonna do. But these guys have looked pretty decent in that first week of preseason, so might be worth picking up a couple packs or a box or something.
I might pick up a couple packs. I do have a big football card collection, mostly like Emmitt Smith era stuff. Rob T says Topps definitive basketball was today for $7,500 a box, or one pack of 8 cards with 6 guaranteed autos. Man, I can't be buying that expensive stuff. That's wild. I mean, all you gotta do is get one good hit out of that, get one good rookie's autograph, and you're gonna make your money back and then some. All right, our topic for collectibles though. And actually, let me show y'all something first before we get into it, because this just got released and people are kind of freaking out about it. Like, holy crap, what is this? Hopefully,
You have a topic for collectibles?
I do have a topic for collectibles, but crap, I don't.
Oh yeah, you did.
So I saw this thing that got released on. Oh yeah, they took it down. It's called the Z Fold 8. Maybe it was fake. People are freaking out about it. So look, they took it down. What it was? Let's see if we can find it. It's like nope. Maybe it was fake. Here it is, right here. Watch. I'll take that off, but it shows you like your NFTs, bro. And the one that up here was even different, and it was even better. Like it was like foldable and stuff. I don't even know. Like, so this would be for your NFT digital comics. I can't believe they took that one down. I wonder if it was fake or something. That's wild. All right.
Cool.
And then our topic though is one I've been wanting to talk about. I know me and Mo agree on it already, so I don't know what kind of conversation we can have about it. But me personally, I'm not a fan of grading my cards. And the reason why I'm not a fan of grading my cards, I mean, you can go on Google right now and find cards that are PSA 10s that you can see the corners are damaged really bad on them. Like, the grading is not, it's not consistent. And I think in the future, maybe using AI, laser technology or something, that at some point we are going to have some type of consistent grading. And if so, you're going to hope that your cards are not already in some other slab, some PSA slab. You're going to want to send them to this new legit grading where it's going to become the new standard, because PSA cannot keep being the standard because they're using $12 an hour employees who's when they grade your card, it's dependent on what their feelings are that day. I saw one card.
And you also have like 10 million freaking Pokemon cards on backlog.
Plus,
so
you got all these trading card games right now too, which gets crazy as well. And I saw this one card. It was a 1955 Roberto Clemente card graded 5.5, and it looked beautiful. The thing is, it even said it on the label. It was a 1999 reprint. They graded it as if it was literally a 1955 card and gave it a 5.5, even though it was like in perfect condition, because it was a reprint and the person grading it thought it was an original. And that's how they treat vintage cards. Like I always say, you can't get a high grade on vintage. Just imagine that it was actually a reprint and they put it as a 5.5. Rob T says 2026 Topps Mint Marvel Wednesday 8/19. Topps Mint Marble, end of the line release hobby box. And I heard another one that they're going to be releasing. It was like Topps Japan, which looks pretty good.
Oh, the baseball?
Yeah.
Oh, the cherry blossoms. Cherry blossom cards, yeah.
Is that what it is?
But yeah, so real quick on the grading.
Yeah.
So I agree with you on, yes, there's a lot of inconsistencies in grading right now.
Yes.
I think it's hard to trust it. However, if I had a card that I knew was pristine, me personally, and I knew it was pristine, all four corners, I pulled it, I sleeved it, right? And I graded that thing to a 10, down the road, 20, 25 years from now, if you're going to unload like an Ohtani or a Judge rookie, right? Like, if that card is still in pristine, corners and everything, you didn't buy it, graded as a 10, but it's not really a 10, I still think that's going to command way more money. But, again, I still agree with you on the point that grading cards right now is very risky because you could get a lot that really might not be an 8 or a 9, and they come back a 10. You know what I mean? And then 20 years from now, they're like, oh, I got a Gen 10 LeBron. And they're like, nah, you got this corner here. The guy must have been high that day. But you overpaid for the card at the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just... But here's the thing. The solution, right? Because anytime you have a problem, you try to find the solution.
Right.
Now, the solution has been an alternative grading system for quite some time. There's been a few over the years where it's like, yeah, Beckett, people kind of like it, but then it's like they kind of don't. They kind of go back to the gold standard of PSA, right?
Yeah, at SGC, most of the vintage collectors like me will get their vintage cards graded by SGC because they're almost as legit as PSA and they give vintage cards better grades.
That I've heard that as well. But there's another one called Tag. Have you seen them?
That might be the one that I was thinking of. There's one that popped up during the pandemic and they use like some type of laser technology to grade.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, they're using AI.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And they're comparing it against like other rated cards of that, you know what I'm saying, from that set.
Nice.
So if they have pictures of all four corners of a perfect 10 Ohtani, and someone sends in another Ohtani and they compare it not only to the normal grading standard, you're now comparing it to the gold standard of what a 10 Ohtani should be, right? Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah. So they're called Tag, and if you even look at like the reports on them of when you get the card back, the amount of pictures that they send you and they show you and they save. Yeah, and guess what? Maybe 10 years from now. Oh, and also, the thing itself is laser engraved. You can't even like take it out and break it.
Yeah, I saw that. That is kind of cool how they did that.
You know what I mean? So it's tamper proof. So that could add like another.
I like
value
that because we've heard about a lot of
road.
tampering, especially with comics that are graded from CGC, where people will put different comics into the plastic and then try to sell them off as a higher grade than what they actually are.
Yep.
You have to, I like that anti-tampering stuff. Rob T says PSA backlog is like 11.8 million, no value submission. It's minimum $80 per card now. I know when I sent my 2 Griffies in, the only 2 cards I ever got graded was during the pandemic, and it took 12 months before I got them back.
And that was like on the cheapest.
Yeah, it was on the cheapest
plan.
Yep. So, and I think it cost about 80. No, it didn't cost that much. I think it was like 25, 40, somewhere around there.
Well, I was looking into Tag because again, I don't have anything crazy I want to get graded, but I have a lot of Mizorowski rookie cards. I got a lot of his chrome. I got the refractor, whatever. And he's doing so well. I'm like, well, you know what? Maybe I'll just take half of the ones that I think could be a 10, because they have like a deal at Tag, or at least they did like a couple weeks ago, where you can get like $10 a card. You know what I'm saying? Like, shit, I'll try them out. $10, get it put in a nice case. You know what I mean? That'd be worth it.
Rob T says, what grade did your Griffies get? 89 upper deck. No, I used to have a bunch of 89 upper decks. The 2 that I sent off, one of them was Thunder Road, one was another. They were super low pop. The Thunder Road was pop of 1 or 2. Might have been 1. One of them got an 8. One of them got a 9. These were both cards that I picked up from some dude for $1 each. They were just in a pal, not in sleeves or anything. So I didn't expect to get 10s for them, but it's because they had low population, I sold them both for, I think I sold them both for 300 total. Alejandro says, I used to grade a lot with PSA, but grading prices are out of hand in the time. I'm also not a fan of the upcharge. Yes, when it gets a PSA 10. Plus, if your card ends up being worth like $10,000, now they charge you even more than what
That's mafia. That's like mafia tactics, bro.
Yeah.
That's Trump tactics.
Not playing with PSA. I do not like the whole grading stuff at all. Yes. Yeah, Grippies are pumping right now. And I've got some Grippies over there on candy.io if you guys are candy collectors. All right, it's about time to wrap it up, y'all. This has been our Tuesday, the Commie and The Hog live stream. Thank you guys in the chat for hanging out with us and for chatting with us. If there's anything you guys want us to get into next week or down the line, just let me know on Twitter or Discord, or let Mo know. And shout out to Mo, as always, for co-hosting, my man. You got anything planned for this upcoming week besides getting some rest?
Well, tonight, as I fall asleep, I'm going to read along and listen to the Book of Gilgamesh.
Are you serious? You're getting deep into it. Yeah, give us more information. I want to hear it all.
So, real quick, you know, we've talked about it, right? And that's kind of like, oh yeah, you know, the Book of Enoch, right? We talked about like all the mythical stuff, and like you got like the Watchers that come down. It's like all the cool stuff in the Bible that a lot of people don't necessarily believe in, right? And everyone was always like, oh, it's fake, it's fake, it's fake, it's fake. It was written, you know, 100 years ago. It was written 500 years ago. But yet, the Dead Sea Scrolls that we've also discussed were found in 1947, which was my ultimate point for Islam earlier, right?
Yeah.
Was that they debated that if it wasn't incorrect with the Quran, that it was manipulated. So that's why it wasn't true. But in 1947, they found the Dead Sea Scrolls, which unfortunately for Islam, they had the Old Testament intact in Aramaic and Hebrew. And guess what? 95% of it matched. The only thing that was wrong was scribal errors from wordage. So other than that, it was right. So again, they couldn't say that, oh, it was a lost thing. It was a lost thing, because in 1947, which if you do the math on that, it was like 750 AD when you know, Islam or whatever, when they did the book. So you understand what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. So everything that was built on in 1947 all fell apart. That's what I was getting at earlier.
All right.
And it all came from the Dead Sea Scrolls that we've talked about, and that's why I always find it funny, because we talk about this shit.
Yeah, that is interesting. All right, y'all. I'm going to wrap it up here. I'm going to do some research so I can come back with the Muslim counter argument to what Mo was talking about, and we'll probably present it next week. All right, everybody, have a great week, and we'll see you on the next one. Later.